Stadium, Pete Colasurto Field in Beckley. Tonight, Video Productions presents middle school football. It's a battle of Beckley. It's the Park Roadrunners. They are 1-3 on the season, taking on the homestanding Beckley-Stratton Bulldogs. They are 3-0. Hello again, everybody. I'm Maris Lowry, working with Mario Lowry here tonight. We have KB, Cameron Ball, producing and directing, and Jackie Moon on camera. Mario, it should be a great football game. You can throw out the records when you get these two rivals, and the weather is going to be outstanding on this first Thursday in October.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night tonight. The sun's still shining. The teams are warming up on the field, and it should be a great Raleigh County game tonight. As
we mentioned, Park enters the ball game 1-3. They beat Shady on the opening night of the season back on the 4th of September, right about a month ago, won that game 34-12. Since then, Park has dropped 3 in a row, losing to Independence. And of course, everybody's been losing to Independence Middle since they won 25 in a row and going for 26 in a row tonight. They also lost to Eastern Greenbrier, and they lost to Princeton. For Beckley-Stratton, Bill O'Brien and I called that September 4th 50-0 win here in Beckley when they beat Wyoming East. They beat Trap Hill. They had an open date, and then they beat Shady a week ago. So it is 3-0 Beckley-Stratton. It's homecoming, and it is 1-3. And Mario, just to ask you maybe your opinion, even though it's homecoming, Beckley-Stratton, if you had a favorite in middle school, they were probably it. But do you think that it could distract the players as they've been excited for their homecoming game here tonight?
Well, homecoming is always an exciting event, and like I said, it's really important that the players realize why they're here tonight. And I know some teams back in middle school will actually let their football players participate at halftime with the homecoming. I'm not sure what these teams will do tonight, but I think these teams are ready to play tonight. And being homecoming probably should only actually make them more enthusiastic for the game.
And the thing about it, these kids really know one another. They play Little League Baseball on into Babe Ruth and middle school baseball together, play basketball against one another, and they're going to be future Flying Eagles, and they're eventually going to end up being teammates.
Right, that's so true. Like I said, this is the future of Woodrow Wilson, Beckley Eagles football team. So I'm not sure if any of the coaches are here tonight, but it looks like there's a lot of talent here to pick from, and I'm not sure if they're dominated by 8th graders, but if so, like I said, they'll have a lot to choose from in next year's 9th graders coming up to the high school.
Both teams going through their pregame warm-ups, and we'll take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the key players on both sides for Beckley and Stratton. As we move closer to the top of the hour for the kickoff of this middle school game, it is Park 1-3, Beckley-Stratton 3-0. We'll take this break here in the Greenbrier Automotive pregame show here on Video Productions.
He's a Greenbrier buyer. She's a Greenbrier buyer. They're Greenbrier buyers. And we want to make you a Greenbrier buyer too. At Greenbrier Automotive, we'll do whatever we can to make your car buying experience the best it can be. From providing outstanding service to offering a huge selection to choose from, all with the best deals possible. Visit one of our 7 area dealerships soon, or shop over 800 vehicles on greenbrierautomotive.com.
Before you hit the Hatfield-McCoy trails, fuel up the way West Virginians do at Little General Stores. We're proud to be part of your ride. Rooted in West Virginia and built for the back roads. Little General Stores. Fuel your adventure the West Virginia way.
Hey, my name's Paige, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the crispiness of the breading and the tenderness of the filet. It's tasty, it's warm, it's total satisfaction.
Hi, this is Tanya, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is that warm bun, the perfectly seasoned chicken, and that pickle. Woo! I love it. There's a taste of my childhood in every bite.
You have a goal. You know what you want. Start with us. New River Community and Technical College, your community college. Take classes online or in a classroom in Beaver, Lewisburg, Summersville, or Princeton, or step outside the classroom in one of our technical or health programs. Find flexible and affordable options to help you reach your goal. It's closer than you think when you start with us. New River Community and Technical College. Apply today.
I never thought this would happen.
When disaster takes control of your life,
we got you.
Get it back with a single call to the team that shows up fast to make things right. Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
For 50 years, Little General Stores has proudly served West Virginia, fueling families, friends, and communities across the Mountain State. To celebrate our golden anniversary, we're giving away $50,000 to thank you, our loyal customers. Little General Stores, 50 years strong and just getting started.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and Scotty Brown is your local State Farm agent in Shady Spring, West Virginia. You can dial Scotty up at 681-238-6130. Also, the game tonight brought to you in part by Exit Elevation Realty. If you're in the market to buy or sell a house, you can dial up Luke Richmond, the broker, or Steve Morgan, the associate broker. And actually, rather than dial them up, you can go on their website and check them out at exitelevationwv.com. Also, the game tonight brought to you in part by Edward Jones. Heather Cantley is the financial advisor. She's my financial advisor. She can be yours, too. She's got a new location up on Harper Road in Beckley. She helped me start planning for my retirement 5 years ago. She can help you plan for your retirement, and you can call Heather at 681-254-0097. And also the game tonight brought to you in part by Hart's Cabinets, located in MacArthur, West Virginia. They have quality custom cabinets, and they're a proud sponsor of local sports, and you can dial up Hart's Cabinets at 304-252-2917. Well, Mario, we take a look, first of all, at Park. They're the visiting team, coached by Dale Stafford. They're 1-3, as we mentioned. They beat Shady. They've since lost 3 in a row. But the couple of guys that we can really look out for tonight are two brothers. And number one for Park and Zayden Johnson Hill. 5'7", 140-pound 8th grader, and he's really the big play guy for the Roadrunners. And his brother lines up at the tight end, but they use him as a slot, Larry Johnson Hill. So the Johnson Hill brothers can really do some damage for the Roadrunners.
Yeah, for Park, to make this a competitive game tonight, their stars are going to have to show out. They're going to have to be here ready to go. And like I said, anything explosive plays they can get will make it a lot easier on them instead of try to grind it down the field.
Doing this game last year, Eric Thomas and I did this game, and, Beckley-Stratton was a heavy favorite, but I do think that if Beckley-Stratton won, it was real tight. Park battled, and it was the show between Zayden Johnson Hill. And on the flip side for Beckley-Stratton, the guy that mirrors Zayden Johnson Hill is Cameron Davis. And Beckley-Stratton, they've got a smash and dash. The smash guy inside is Nemo Plummer. He's really good running the ball between the tackles. And the guy that can get to the edge and make the big play is Cameron Davis for Beckley-Stratton.
Yeah, that puts a lot of pressure on the defense. When the play goes inside, you got to have the horses on the inside to stop it. But then if they go outside wide, you also have to have speed from your outside defensive players. So you got to also watch for the fake up the middle and then pull it out and go around the end. It can cause a lot of problems on the defense.
Of course, the one thing in middle school, there are 8-minute quarters as opposed to 12 in high school. So obviously turnovers in any level is big, but especially taking care of the football when the quarters, like I said, are only 8 minutes as opposed to 12.
Yeah, anybody will tell you turnovers in any game, from middle school all the way up to the NFL is crucial. Not only the turnovers, but also where they occur on the field. And I'm sure Park is going to try to get a few tonight to try to stay in this game with Beckley-Stratton.
And, Maura, that brings me to a point, and I was thinking maybe whoever wins the toss, most teams normally defer, but I think maybe in this contest you might want to take the ball as opposed to defer because, like I said, with the shortened quarters and the way both teams can run the ball and then hit you with the big play, you might want to put your best unit, which has been their offense, out on the field first.
Right. If you get the ball first, the strategy is that you get the odd number of possessions. So let's say each team gets the ball in the first half. If you're Park, you get the ball first. You might get 5 possessions where, Beckley-Stratton will only get 4. So that's the advantage you want to have going into halftime. I know in the second half that can flip-flop, but you always want to look for that lead going into halftime to carry over into the second half.
The one thing about it, weather will not be a factor. We don't even have a breeze. In fact, you couldn't ask for a better afternoon and evening in Raleigh County in the Beckley area here on October the 2nd as we're into fall. And, you know, the leaves are starting to change. It looks like fall, but it still feels like summer.
Yeah, the weather shouldn't be any problems when it comes to the passing game. There's not going to be any balls that are going to be misdirected because of weather. Also with kicking, you should get true kicks tonight, true passes. And like I said, the weather will have no bearing. In fact, tonight being as hot as it is, you might have a little bit more problems with dehydration. So you might have to have more Gatorade pumped into you tonight. And like I said, that's something you may not be expecting on a early October matchup.
You know, we talk about each team's offense, but you alluded to the kicking game, and as you were talking, I'm watching Beckley-Stratton as they're going, you know, through some of their special teams, kicking the ball off the tee and punting, and obviously special teams will play, I think, a huge part in the outcome of this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the third phase of the game, and, a lot of times if you count up the number of game plays in special teams, you might get a total of 10 tonight between kicks and punts. So, like I said, that's where you try to make that extra advantage. If you're prepared, if maybe you have a trick play, or if you just hustle down and they bobble a punt, or you can jump on it. But you should take advantage of every opportunity on the special teams. You know, one thing I like here, too, is we look across the way and I look at both squads' cheerleading group. They're both in pink. Of course, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's always great to see that even down to the middle school level that you have schools that participate in that. Yeah, it's a great month. Like I said, I know it's recognized. And like I said, for our young students, just to be aware of, proper screenings. I know this is a football game tonight, but it's not anything wrong with talking about getting proper screenings and mammograms and such. And those who can detect it early, like I said, hopefully they can get some treatment. And like I said, it's a good thing they're wearing pink, so we all are aware of it tonight. Well, yeah, I think anytime you can talk about any type of health awareness, whether it's a football game or whatever sporting event you're at, I think anytime we have time to talk about that, I think that's a good thing. Right, sure is. All right, so both teams continuing through their warm-ups as we're getting closer to the top of the hour. We're about 15 minutes away from kicking this one off at 6 o'clock. It is Beckley-Stratton, the home team. It's homecoming tonight for them. They are 3-0, coached by Coach Law. Coach Stafford's Park team is 1-3. We'll take a break, and when we return, we'll dive more into the game as we get closer to kickoff here on Video Productions.
Access Health began as a small clinic with a simple yet powerful purpose: to care for our neighbors right here at home. From the very beginning, it was about people showing up for each other, building trust, and staying connected. Today, Access Health is serving thousands across southern West Virginia. But what makes us different isn't just the care we provide, it's who provides it. Our team was born here, trained here, and lives here. This is what community looks like. This is Access Health, by the community, for the community, always.
If you're struggling with payroll problems, compliance confusion, or HR headaches, it's time to discover Compliance, the trusted solution for a healthier, stress-free business. With Compliance, you will experience faster, error-free payroll, effortless compliance with labor laws, and expert HR support and guidance. Don't let workplace stress take over. Ask your business if Compliance is right for you. Side effects may include reduced stress, increased efficiency, improved morale, and a strong reliance on compliance. Consult Compliance today. Compliance, because a better business starts with a better you.
We asked the real experts what they think of our Chevys and GMCs, and they didn't hold back.
Come here. Come on. I like the noise of it.
They tested the seats, the screens, and the tires as well. Now it's your turn. Northside Chevy GMC, approved by kids, loved by everyone. Chevrolet, together let's drive. GMC, we are professional grade.
Northside Levy, where they are right.
When you're in need of a plumber, you want someone that's going to treat you like family. Modley's Plumbing and Heating, a family-owned business since 1987, wants you to know our customers and employees are as important as family. Built by family to families, quality work is our hallmark at Modley's Plumbing and Heating. So the next time you're in need of a plumber, give Modley's Plumbing and Heating a call at 304-253-HELP. Help to Modley's means handling every little problem.
Here we grow again. Pioneer Community Bank is proud to offer a network of banks right here in our communities. By offering you more locations, Pioneer continues to meet all your banking needs where you are. Please stop by our New Harper Road location. We are truly investing in Southern West Virginia. Pioneer Community Bank. Friendly service, great products. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There's a place where innovation becomes transformation, where you'll find that education is not just about learning, but about being excited to learn. A place to feel at home. Pursue dreams and prepare for careers. Build lifelong friendships. And a place where you'll be encouraged and mentored along your journey. Discover your future. Get ready to soar. The University of Charleston.
And we welcome you back to Van Meter Stadium in Beckley at Pete Curl-Certeau Field. Cameron Ball producing and directing. Jackie Moon on camera with Mario Lowry. I'm Maris Lowry. And Mario, it's hard to believe that we're less than a month away from Halloween, but you can celebrate Halloween at Leisure Lanes with their Bowloween, and you can dress up. Of course, Mario, you won't have to dress up. You can go as you are and probably scare everybody in the place, and you can win a prize, and you can check them out on Johnstown Road in Beckley. Leisure Lanes will have a Bowloween, and that comes up on Halloween night, which, by the way, is on a Friday night, Friday, October the 31st. And for more information about that event, you can call them at 304-253-7328. Also, the game tonight brought to you in part by Infinity Coal Company, located in Sophia, West Virginia. They are now hiring experienced underground miners, and they offer a great wage and great benefits. You can apply online at United Coal Company's Facebook page.
Well, you know, Maris, I do participate in No Shave November. Sometimes I start a little bit in October, so I might be able to pass for a werewolf in London here by the time we get to Halloween.
Maybe so. Also, the game tonight brought to you in part by Pasquale's Italian Restaurant. They have all your favorite Italian dishes. Mamma mia! They have sandwiches, salads, and seafood. They also have catering and private parties available, and you can book your event by dialing up Pasquale's at 304-255-5253. By the way, Warren, what was his name?
Zeters, I think.
Warren Zever?
Zephron, something like close enough.
Zephron, yeah.
There's a Z.
With a Z, who sung Werewolves of London Smash It back in the mid to late 70s. And last but certainly not least, tonight's game brought to you in part by Allstate Insurance, located at Market Road at Beckley. Lori Richmond's my agent, takes good care of me, takes great care of everybody, so take great care of you, and you're in good hands with Allstate. You can dial Lori up at 304-252-8646. You know, Maury, I'll have to say that October is really one of my favorite months, especially if you're a sports fan, because you're talking middle school football, high school football, the Major League Baseball playoffs are going on, the National Hockey League will start next week, the NBA is right around the corner. Of course, you've got college and the NFL. You've got really everything going. There's so much going on, especially here this first weekend of October.
Right, and October is like the meat of the schedule for, I know we started a month ago for NFL, but normally it takes 3 or 4 games for the teams to get acclimated with short preseasons. So you're getting into the, like I said, the middle part of football, and of course with college too. And like I said, adding basketball be coming around the corner. Volleyball's going on right now too. We don't leave out volleyball. So there's so many sports opportunities. And like I said, and Video Productions does such a great job covering not just football, but a multitude of sports.
Yeah, and speaking of volleyball, we covered a tri-match on Tuesday over at Independence High School. It was Greenbrier East Independence at Beckley. And this coming Tuesday, October the 7th, we'll be here at Beckley Woodrow Wilson High School for a battle between Beckley and George Washington, 2 4A heavyweights that will battle in volleyball. Of course, we've got middle school tonight. We'll have high school football tomorrow. Eric will join me tomorrow. We'll be at Fairleigh, West Virginia. It'll be Shady and Greenbrier East. By the way, that's a 7:30 kickoff, not 7 o'clock. In the last couple of years, Greenbrier East have been kicking off at 7, but this year they've gone back to 7:30. We'll be on the air tomorrow at 7, kickoff at 7:30. But Mario, we're going to touch on one thing a little bit because you're a Marshall guy, and the Herd come off a real disappointing double overtime loss to Louisiana. They were up 17, and then they lose. And I think the hardest part about that, obviously the loss, but now they're off, and now you have to kind of carry that pain with you for an extra week.
Right. Well, the one thing, just reading a couple of articles in Metro News, they were talking about where Coach Gibson, of course, you give up 54 points even into overtime. He knows the defense is a problem, so it does give you at least a little bit of extra time, gives you 2 weeks to see if it's going to be maybe a scheme problem or if it's just the players' personnel. So yes, it actually might be good. Like I said, you give up 54 points. Sometimes it might give you an extra week to try to work out some of the problems there. And they will be back home the next 2 games, including, which I know this sounds a little ironic, but they come home for a game, and then the following week is homecoming. So the homecoming is actually the second week of when they return home.
Well, and West Virginia, they lost badly to Utah. They've got to play another Utah team in BYU. This is on the road, and this is a rare Friday night game. They have to go out to BYU tomorrow night.
Right, and also being a late night out BYU, it's a 10:30 start. So, if the
their time.
Right, but if the Mountaineers don't play well, you can always the next day, if you didn't know the score, you just say, hey, it was past my bedtime, and, I missed the game.
Yeah, and maybe if West Virginia gets beat bad, maybe they missed the game too.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get you back here to middle school, and once again, it is Park. They enter the ball game 1-3. They beat Shady back on September the 4th, then they lost 3 in a row as they enter this game playing. They lost to Independence, Eastern Greenbrier, and Princeton. For Beckley-Stratton, though, they're 3-0, and you look at Beckley-Stratton, Mario, if they were to beat Park, they've already beat Trap Hill, and they've already beat Shady. If they were to beat Park, that would put them in position to maybe face Independence for the county championship. Now, there's a lot of football left between now and then, but it looks like when Independence and Beckley-Stratton play over in Coal City on October 16th, it looks like the way things are shaping up now, the winner of that game will secure home field for the county championship game.
Well, if you're Park, you want to be the monkey wrench. You want to be the one that wants to stop that winning streak and prevent them and Independence meeting up in a couple weeks with identical or undefeated records.
And like I said, with home field advantage on the line for that game.
Right.
So Park has left the field. They went back to their locker room. Beckley-Stratton still going through, looks like still a couple of plays, and we're just a little more than 5 minutes away of kicking it off. We'll take our final break, come back, and get you ready for the opening kickoff of this middle school game on this beautiful October evening here in Beckley, here at Van Meter Stadium, Pete Colasurto Field. We'll be right back here on Video Productions.
He's a Greenbrier buyer. She's a Greenbrier buyer. They're Greenbrier buyers. And we want to make you a Greenbrier buyer too. At Greenbrier Automotive, we'll do whatever we can to make your car buying experience the best it can be. From providing outstanding service to offering a huge selection to choose from, all with the best deals possible. Visit one of our 7 area dealerships soon, or shop over 800 vehicles on greenbrierautomotive.com.
If you're struggling with payroll problems, compliance confusion, or HR headaches, it's time to discover Compliance, the trusted solution for a healthier, stress-free business. With Compliance, you will experience faster, error-free payroll, effortless compliance with labor laws, and expert HR support and guidance. Don't let workplace stress take over. Ask your business if Compliance is right for you. Side effects may include reduced stress, increased efficiency, improved morale, and a strong reliance on compliance. Consult Compliance today. Compliance, because a better business starts with a better you.
For 50 years, Little General Stores has proudly served West Virginia, fueling families, friends, and communities across the Mountain State. To celebrate our golden anniversary, we're giving away $50,000 to thank you, our loyal customers. Little General Stores, 50 years strong and just getting started.
I never thought this would happen.
When disaster takes control of your life, we got you. Get it back with a single call to the team that shows up fast to make things right. Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
This fall, let the beauty of the season in without the chill. At Window Road of Beckley, we bring comfort, style, and savings to your home. Our windows and doors are built to handle West Virginia's wild and wonderful weather, keeping the warmth in and the energy bills low. With energy-efficient windows, expert installations, and affordable financing options, it's time to upgrade. It's never been easier to fall in love with your home again. Call 1-800-WINDOW-WORLD today.
Well, welcome back to Van Meter Stadium, Pete Curlicerto Field in Beckley. A little more than 5 minutes away from getting this middle school game underway, the Battle of Beckley. It is Beckley-Stratton's homecoming. Beckley-Stratton, the home team, of course, 3-0. Park is 1-3. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by the Spartan Factory. They have T-shirts, team uniforms, bags, hats, and banners, of course, located at Beckley. And I've got the swag on from Spartan Factory, and they took care of our crew at Video Productions. You can check them out on their website, the Spartan Factory at WV.com. Also, the game tonight is brought to you by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. Pepsi is a proud sponsor of all the sports in the great state of West Virginia. Could use me a nice blue can, an ice cold Pepsi. All right, Mario, put your coaching hat on. If you are in the locker room at Park, what might you hear the coaches tell the players?
Well, you want to get out early. You want to come out, try to be aggressive, and try to get some big plays. And if you get Beckley-Stratton, maybe over pursue, maybe a reverse, maybe do something different just to, something out of the ordinary. Maybe Beckley-Stratton hadn't prepared for in this game.
That's one thing. In rivalry games, sometimes you do throw in a new wrinkle that the other team hasn't seen. And if you're happen to be in the Beckley-Stratton locker room, what might you hear Coach Law tell his guys?
Well, you never want to take an opponent lightly, but at 3-0, and you've handled several teams already, you just want to be sharp. You want to play to your potential, and you just tell your team, if you come out here and you execute, we can go away 4-0 at the end of the night.
This is a rivalry put right in the middle of the season. They only play 8 games in middle school, and like I said, it's right here in the middle. Back in the day, before when there were 3 schools, when it was junior high, of course, when it was Park Junior High, Beckley Junior High, and Stratton Junior High, Park played Stratton and Beckley played Stratton early in the year, but they always saved the last game every year was the battle between Park and Beckley Junior High, but since the consolidation of Beckley-Stratton Park, they've moved that rivalry to the middle of the season. I know it's great anytime they play, but it just seems like it means more if it's at the end of the year.
Yeah, you have to go with what with the way they're scheduled now. But yes, the last game, as they say, you can leave it on the field. There's no tomorrow, and when the game's over, you've given it all, and the season's over. After tonight, they still have half a season to go. So sometimes it's that last game of the year. You can put all your energy and all your, all of your mental into that one game.
They are now playing the national anthem. We'll take a quick break, come back and get you the kickoff coming up next here on Video Productions.
Access Health began as a small clinic with a simple yet powerful purpose: to care for our neighbors right here at home. From the very beginning, it was about people showing up for each other, building trust, and staying connected. Today, Access Health is serving thousands across southern West Virginia. But what makes us different isn't just the care we provide, it's who provides it. Our team was born here, trained here, and lives here. This is what community looks like. This is Access Health, by the community, for the community, always.
If you're struggling with payroll problems, compliance confusion, or HR headaches, it's time to discover Compliance, the trusted solution for a healthier, stress-free business. With Compliance, you will experience faster, error-free payroll, effortless compliance with labor laws, and expert HR support and guidance. Don't let workplace stress take over. Ask your business if Compliance is right for you. Side effects may include reduced stress, increased efficiency, improved morale, and a strong reliance on compliance. Consult Compliance today. Compliance, because a better business starts with a better you.
And we just had the playing of the national anthem. Park makes their way out onto the field. Park tonight will be wearing all white. We'll occupy the sideline across the way. Beckley-Stratton will be right below us. And Mario, I think it's pretty neat that Coach Surratt has his entire football team, the Beckley Flying Eagles, the high school team that's here sitting down below us that will take in what's going to be future Flying Eagles for the 8th graders moving up to the 9th grade next year.
Yeah, it's like I said, after tonight, they're all going to be looking at each other as Flying Eagles. This one time tonight when they're playing, it's Park versus Beckley-Stratton. But like I said, this time next year, they're all going to be wearing the maroon and white. and they're all going to be one big happy family.
All right, so like I said, Park's made its way across the way as Coach Stafford's got his squad ready. They'll be wearing, like I said, all white, trimmed in green. We're waiting for Beckley-Stratton to make their entrance out on the field. Beckley-Stratton will be wearing all blue tonight, and it'll be a little difficult to try to catch the number, especially with the bright sun on it. So I'm letting people know now if I miscall a name or a number, it's because it's very hard to see because they don't have white on that blue. It's it looks like it's black on the blue, and it's really hard to see their numbers, like I said, especially with this bright sun, with this 6 o'clock kickoff.
Right. You're probably looking at this probably at least another hour and a half. It's getting dusk around 7:30, so we might get all the way into the first half with the sun bright, and hopefully it doesn't affect the play on a pass or trying to catch a kickoff with the sun being as bright as it is. And
Maura, that's a good point because where we're standing and here at the press box on the home side, which is the near sideline. You would think if you have to kick off, you'd want to maybe kick off left to right, because if you're running the ball back right to left, you're looking right into the sun if you're ready to catch the kickoff.
Right. Hopefully that's part of the strategy. They know if they're not, if they're going to actually be kicking off, they should actually kick in the direction where they're going to have the sun in their eyes. So hopefully each coach has already taken that into consideration.
Well, we're waiting for Beckley-Stratton to make their way onto the field. Park is there. They've got their captains across the way ready to come out for the coin toss, and we're still waiting on Beckley-Stratton. Maybe a little psych job here by the Bulldogs, waiting a little bit before they take the field.
And while we're waiting, we can point out, which we did earlier, the Beckley-Stratton cheerleaders have their pink pom-poms tonight for October Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So they're representing tonight, and want to let all the young ladies out there get your mammograms, get your screenings, your checkups, and like I said, early detection is for the best treatment you can get.
Park also, their girls representing that as well, also in pink. So it's good that both teams are responding to that. Like I said, October, that's what it is. It is Breast Awareness Month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And you want to make sure, as you said, just like with men with prostate cancer, in any type of ailment or disease, you want to be able to detect it early.
Right, so true. And the other thing with the way the game is set up tonight, like I said, all the cheering section, they just use one bleacher. So you're going to have the cheerleaders, I'm assuming, are going to be on the same side. So like I said, the future Eagles are already kind of mixing it up. They're sitting together in the bleachers, and I'm sure it's just going to make it for an exciting game tonight.
Of course, right below us, standing right there, is former NFL player and played in the Super Bowl, Doug Legursky, as he's right down in front of us. Of course, he's part of the Coach Street Surratt's Beckley football staff and taking in the game. And like I said, I don't know if this is intentional, but Park's been out here waiting, like, where's Beckley-Stratton? Maybe somebody needs to let them know. Somebody, they need to answer the bell. Somebody needs to go tell them it's time to kick off.
And I'm not sure what the rules are, but you can always sometimes get a delay of game penalty to start the game. So you don't want to do that as well if you're Beckley-Stratton.
Yeah, we scheduled for a 6 o'clock. It's 6:02 local time. And, even if they say, all right, 6:05, but you would think Beckley-Stratton would be out on the field. The band and the cheerleaders are waiting. Of course, you can see they've got cheerleaders down there into the end zone to our right. And I don't see Beckley-Stratton dresses across the way. I don't see any sign of any coach or player of anything from Beckley-Stratton.
Hopefully they didn't get locked in the locker room.
I would hope not.
Hopefully somebody didn't turn the wrong key, or, somebody for Park went over there, put a bar into it so they can't, unlock the door. So
I would hope not.
Yeah, I would hope not too.
So, like I said, Park, it looks like they're ready, and they've got their captains out there right at midfield, and they're talking with the officials. And here comes Beckley-Stratton. So, if that was the case, Mario, I guess they got their strongest guy to break that bar so they could get out of the locker room.
That's right.
So here comes Beckley-Stratton. Maybe it's just like a little psych job as Beckley-Stratton now ready to make the field across the way.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever watched the movie Dodgeball, but the entrance in the Dodgeball Championship where they come in clapping hands, hitting their knee pads, that's something that they need to do here tonight. So let the crowd know that they're here.
So here comes Beckley-Stratton. They'll be wearing the white helmet. Like I said, they're all in blue. Beckley-Stratton in blue, Park in white, trimmed in green. As Beckley-Stratton makes its way here right below us on the near sideline, Coach Law doing a fabulous job. And this is a really good Beckley-Stratton football team, and the record has indicated that by being undefeated.
Right. Like I said, also talking about strategy, sometimes if you feel like you do have you're playing an explosive team, Like I said, sometimes it's hard to control the clock, but if you're making some first downs, if you're apart tonight, it may be maybe a good strategy to maybe delay snapping the ball, let the clock run down. And like I said, since the quarters are so short, maybe try to maximize the time you have the ball. And that way, Beckley-Stratton, when they get the ball, they will have lesser time in the quarter or the half to run their offense.
So the captains will be meeting at midfield for the coin toss. But you're right. In some of these high school games, which there are 12-minute quarters, I've seen teams run 7-8 minutes off on one drive. In a high school game, whether they score or not, they still take 7, 8, 9 minutes off the clock.
The problem also is here tonight. Park has just under 20 players, so I'm sure they have a lot of players going both ways. So if you do have a long drive for Beckley-Stratton, that puts a lot of stress on their players that just have to turn around. If they score or they hold them, when they come out on offense, they're basically the same players not leaving the field. Yeah, and also in middle school, you would think that anytime if you get to fourth, and probably fourth or 7 or closer, depending unless you're really backed up deep, you're probably going to go for it. Right, and I'm not sure, like I said, how their punting situations for each team. But, if you're punting the ball, maybe only getting 20 or 30 yards out of the punt, that's not a lot of territory that you're getting an advantage on after you punt the ball. So sometimes it's better, anything near midfield, to just go for it.
Yeah, the net doesn't really work out. That's why I think first down is so important. It's always important on any level, but more so I think in middle school when you only got 8-minute quarters. So they're getting ready to have the toss of the coin. They have tossed it, and let's see who's won the toss. And now they throw it up, and looking for the official. Yes, they will. I think Park might have won it and deferred. Beckley-Stratton's going to receive. So Beckley-Stratton's going to get the ball. They're going to work right to left. So Beckley-Stratton's going to have to look right into that sun as Park will tee it up.
And like I said, if you're kicking this off, you want to try to get that ball elevated in the air as much as possible. You don't want to kick the ball on the ground. You want to get in the air so that when they go to catch the ball, like I said, if that glare hits them right in the eyes, you might be a chance to get an early turnover.
So each team getting their final instructions from their coaches, and we're finally going to get this game started a few minutes late tonight, but that's okay. I'm sure it's going to be worth the wait. Glad you're with us on Video Productions. Maris Lowry with Mario Lowry, KB Cameron Ball producing and directing, Jackie Moon on camera. Beautiful night here in Beckley on this October 2nd as Park now takes the field and will get the ball teed up there on the 40-yard line. And Beckley-Stratton now break the huddle. We'll have one of the young men back will be Neo Plummer. And also the real guy, if you're Park, who you probably don't want to kick it to, is it's hard to defend Cameron Davis in space. So Plummer's going to come up, and they're going to put, let's see if they'll put Davis back. Actually, Park is, like I said, is teed it up on the 40, but Beckley-Stratton is moving up and only got one guy deep standing on the 20.
Yeah, so right now he's standing right in the middle of the field. So if you can corner left or right of him, you might get a good roll and maybe try to get him back inside the 20-yard line.
All right, the ball's teed up, and we are all set and ready to go. In the Battle of Beckley, Park 1-3 against 3-0 Beckley-Stratton. Waiting for the whistle, and there it is, and we are ready to get this game underway. Here comes the opening kickoff, and it'll be kicked short, takes a bounce at the 30, and Beckley-Stratton's got some running room. They get the ball across the 40. Nice spin move. Nice return. This might go. Here on the near side, one man to beat, and a touchdown-saving tackle by Park, and that is Johnson Hill that made the touchdown-saving tackle, and a great return by Beckley-Stratton.
Yeah, that's why you always have what we call a safety. You have somebody back on the kickoff that if the ball breaks the front lanes, that you're there to make the last tackle. Well, if he didn't make that, definitely was going for the end zone.
So this return will be to the 27-yard line. So it'll be Beckley-Stratton 1st and 10 on the near side hash at the Park 27. Bentley Ellison is the quarterback. Like I said, he'll have Plummer and Davis will be the two running backs. They'll set up with a tight formation. Plummer is the up back in the out of the eye. 1st and 10. And they'll pitch it to Davis. He's got running room. He's inside the 25. He breaks it to the outside. He's down inside the 20, fighting for extra yards, and a good gain on 1st down.
Yeah, with the pitch wide, you have a tight formation. You have plenty of blockers out in front of you, and that allows the running back to either hit the hole or try to bump it to the outside. He has plenty of room outside of the hash marks.
Picked up 8 on first down. It'll be 2nd and 2. The ball on the far side hash just inside the 20 at the Park 19-yard line.
And that was also a very good tackle by the Park defender, like I said, or that may have broke for a touchdown.
So on 2nd and 2 from the Park 19, they run out of the I. Ellison, the quarterback, up under center. They'll pitch it to Davis again. He's got running room. He's got a first down. He's got more. He's inside the 10 to the 5. They can't get him to the ground. He's into the end zone for a Beckley-Stratton touchdown. So Beckley-Stratton didn't take any time at all. Only 2 plays to go 27 yards, set up by the big kickoff return. And just like that, on the opening drive of the game, with 6:55 remaining in the opening quarter, Beckley-Stratton is out 6-0, Mario, and now they'll set up and go for 2.
Yeah, that was basically the same play they had on first down, except going to the right side. They went to the left, the pitch, and like I said, once he gets that block, he gets into the second level, and it's all the way into the end zone.
So that was a 2-play drive covering 27 yards, a 19-yard touchdown run from Cameron Davis, 6-0, and now Beckley-Stratton sets up to go for 2. They'll pitch it. No, it'll be a quarterback keeper, and he's got blockers ahead, and he's able to get into the end zone, is the quarterback, Ellison. So that's a good-looking 2-point conversion, and just like that, Beckley-Stratton in 2 plays and a 2-point conversion have an 8-0 lead. 6:55 remaining opening quarter. It's Beckley-Stratton 8, Park coming to back. We'll be right back here on Video Productions.
Before you hit the Hatfield-McCoy trails, fuel up the way West Virginians do, at Little General Stores. We're proud to be part of your ride. Rooted in West Virginia and built for the back roads. Little General Stores. Fuel your adventure the West Virginia way.
Hey, my name's Paige, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the crispiness of the breading and the tenderness of the filet. It's tasty, it's warm, it's total satisfaction.
Hi, this is Tanya, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is that warm bun, the perfectly seasoned chicken, and that pickle. Woo! I love it. There's a taste of my childhood in every bite.
And we welcome you back to Van Meter Stadium, Pete Colasurto Field. Mario, just like that, Beckley-Stratton in the end zone, and it was set up by a big kickoff return. They go 2 plays, 27 yards, and they get a 19-yard touchdown run from Cameron Davis. The 2-point conversion ran in by Bentley Ellison, and just like that, just a little more than a minute, actually 1 minute and 5 to be exact, it's 8-0 Beckley-Stratton. Here's like an onside kick. The ball didn't go 10 yards, but it was touched by Park. And let's see, Beckley-Stratton says they have it, but the ball did not go 10 yards.
Yeah, on that, if you're playing there, you have to just be really disciplined. You have to stay 10 yards, and if it doesn't come past 10 yards, you get away from it.
But since Park touched it,
right,
Beckley-Stratton's able to recover it, and they do, and they'll get the ball just shy of the 45. They'll get the ball on their own 44-yard line.
Right, that's why you have to, like I said, you have to be very disciplined. If you're the up people, and you know if you touch it after 10 or before 10 yards, anybody can get it. After 10 yards, of course, it's a free ball, but you just got to stay back and wait for it to come to you like a shortstop.
And we talk about this, Mario, squeeze it an extra possession in these short quarters, and Beckley-Stratton able to do that. And now Beckley-Stratton with kind of with the power to the near side with trips kind of in the slot. And they work from the shotgun, a formation I hadn't seen yet, to throw. Going deep, got one-on-one coverage. It's broken up for a minute. I thought it was going to be caught. The ball was just slightly underthrown, but I like the play.
Right, really good play. You had one side of the formation, had 3 receivers, so you think that might be the main area of the field that they're going to target, and they go backside. And with that, the receiver was behind the defense, so the defender was lucky that he put a hand in there at the end and knocked the ball away. When you get somebody behind you, like I said, that can cause for another touchdown.
So on the incompletion, the clock stops. 2nd and 10 for Beckley-Stratton on their own 44-yard line. They scored the first time they had the ball in 2 plays. They recovered an onside kick. We haven't seen Park's offense yet.
If you're Park, 2nd and 10 here, this is where you really got to limit them, try to keep them under 5 yards on this play.
Out of the I formation. They're going to run the ball inside to Plummer, and he goes right up the gut. He's breaking through to the 40, to the 30, the 20, and he is caught. No, he isn't. Touchdown, Beckley-Stratton, as Nemo Plummer runs 56 yards right up the gut, and Beckley-Stratton's up 14-0.
Yeah, so far with their offense, you've already seen probably most of their playbook. They've gone toss right, toss left. They've gone with a quarterback keeper. They've gone with a deep pass, and now right up the belly.
Yeah, nice job by Nemo Plummer. and that's a 56-yard run. So back-to-back two-play drives. This is a two-play 56-yard drive, a 56-yard run by Plummer, and just like that, before Park's offense has got on the field, Mario, 6.5 to go in the opening quarter. It's 14-0. Beckley-Stratton is setting up to go for two again.
And I'm Beckley-Stratton. I'd come back and run the exact same two-point play that I ran earlier because it was so successful.
Quarterback there is Bentley Ellison. They run from the eye. It's going to be a pass play. Ellison throws the ball into the end zone, and it's broken up, and the two-point conversion is unsuccessful. But 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns, and with 6.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter, your new score is Beckley-Stratton 14 and Park nothing. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Scotty Brown is your local State Farm agent. You can dial him up at Shady Spring, West Virginia at 681-238-6130. Also, the game tonight is brought to you in part by Exit Elevation Realty. Luke Richmond, the broker. Steve Morgan, the associate broker. If you're in the market to buy or sell your house, you can check them out on their website at exitelevation.com. Well, 2 possessions for Beckley-Stratton, Mario, 2 touchdowns, and Park's offense is yet to get on the field. Beckley-Stratton kicked an onside kick the last time, and it was successful, and they stuck the ball in the end zone.
Right. You got to tell your 5 here line up again. If they kick the ball, what we call a squib kick, keep it on the ground, especially with this turf, you got to tell them before the first 10 yards, let it go, and anything after that, you got to jump on it and secure the ball.
Another thing, Beckley-Stratton old school, the way they line up on the kickoff.
Right, the old 3-point stance.
Yeah, you don't hardly ever see that. And they're ready to tee it up from the 40. And if at first, and they got it again, but that didn't go 10 yards.
Yes, that should be going to Park.
Yeah, Park should get the ball on Beckley-Stratton's half of the field. So apparently Beckley-Stratton has seen something. They think that they can exploit Park there, but that ball did not go 10 yards.
Well, I'm a big believer when something is working to stick with it. And since it worked on the first kick, go ahead and try it again. Same thing with their offensive plays, the ones that have been working tonight, just stick to it. But now we finally get a chance to see if Park's going to answer back here. They got great field position. It's really important to try to go down and get a score here in this first quarter.
So Park's first possession of the ball game, and they're trailing 14-0. They have a 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line of Beckley-Stratton. Higginbotham is the quarterback, Dalton Higginbotham, and he has Zayden Johnson-Hill, and they've got a real tight lineup. Tight formation as they want to just power the ball up the middle, and they move the pile down inside the 45 down to the 44-yard line. That's just, helmet on helmet, and just try to push if you're Park, your offensive line trying to push the defensive line of Beckley off the ball.
You can never score too quickly, but at the same time, if you can get a good drive here, maybe 10 plays, go 50 yards, get a touchdown, eat up some clock, that's something that would probably be a great recipe for Park right now.
But that's a 5-yard pickup on first down. 2nd and 5 coming up for the Roadrunners at the Beckley-Stratton 44-yard line. Clock turning. We're under 6 minutes for the first quarter. Beautiful night here in Beckley. They'll run the ball again. Power right up the field, very close to a first down. Going to come up about a yard, maybe 2 yards short of the first down.
Well, I'm sure you remember Coach McClung from us playing at South Beckley midget football. He used to always tell us if you get 3 yards on every play, you're going to get a first down, and they're getting more than that right now.
So they've got the ball at the Beckley-Stratton 41, and they've just powered the ball right up the middle. And that was Ryan Grubb, the fullback. And like I said, the Parks offensive line doing a good job pushing Beckley-Stratton off the ball.
And you've got 2 downs to get this. Of course, you want it on this down. You don't want to go to 4th down. But like I said, this makes it very manageable on this play.
So 3rd and short. They fumbled the snap. And almost disaster as Higginbotham able to get back on it, and now it'll bring up 4th down.
And it looked like Park had a good push on that one, too. I think if he'd have held on to the ball, they could have definitely got that first down.
Yeah, they might even lost a yard recovering it back to the 42-yard line. They did. They lost a yard on it. They've got to get just inside the 40. They've got to actually get to the 39. So they're going to need 3 yards here on this 4th down play.
I think it's what they've been running. If they get a good handoff and a good exchange from the center, I think they can get 3 yards on this play.
And you can see Beckley-Stratton have got all their guys lined up in the box, just one guy back over the top. So on 4th down, a critical play for Park. They'll run the ball, tried to push the pile, and I don't know if he got there. It's going to be close. I don't think he's going to get there. He had to get inside the 40, and watching the side judge, he didn't get there, and Beckley-Stratton holds, and Beckley-Stratton will take over.
Yeah, it just shows you how crucial the third down play was, not only the exchange, but also losing a yard on that play.
So Beckley-Stratton will have the ball for the third time. They've scored on their 2 previous possessions. They'll take over on their own 41-yard line. They had a 2-play 27-yard drive and a 2-play 56-yard drive, and their 1-2 punch have each scored a touchdown. Davis the first drive, Plummer the second drive.
And here's a formation we've seen earlier today where they threw the pass deep. We'll see what they have a different play out of this formation this time.
Yeah, running trips to the bottom of the screen. There's the snap. They're going to throw a wide receiver screen, and this is blocked well. This is good. May go inside the 40. This is Davis to the 30. He'll score. No penalty flags. Touchdown, Beckley-Stratton.
Yeah, the defense definitely on their heels there. You've seen that formation last time that they threw deep, and then this time perfectly thrown screen. The blockers were already out on the defenders and open up a lane, and that's all he needed was a crease to go all the way for a touchdown.
That was Isaiah Austin on the reception, and like I said, it was well blocked, and they had the numbers, and that is a 59-yard touchdown pass. And, wow, you're talking about efficient. You know, Beckley-Stratton here going for 2 again. Obviously, they don't have a kicker. So here they lead 20-0, and they've got 20 points on 5 plays from scrimmage as they line up on the far hash for the 2-point conversion. They're going to go power out of the backfield, put a man in motion. Or no, he's not coming in motion. He's coming off the field, and they might have to burn a timeout, and they do. So they'll take a timeout. They had too many men on the field. Or I think I know that you can't break the huddle with too many men on the field.
Yeah,
so
if you have 12 in the huddle, they definitely could have thrown the flag on that.
Yeah, so the young man, they get the timeout. While we got a minute, I want to tell you that tonight's game is brought to you in part by Edward Jones, and Heather Cantley is the Edward Jones financial advisor. She's my financial advisor. She can be yours as well. She has a new location on Harper Road in Beckley. You can call up Heather at 681-254-0097. She can help start you planning for retirement. Also, the game tonight is brought to you by Hart's Cabinets, located in MacArthur, West Virginia. They have quality custom cabinets, and they're a proud sponsor of local sports, 304-252-2917. But Mario, right now, we're only at 4:14. We haven't even played half of the first quarter, and Beckley-Stratton has got Park on the ropes.
Yeah, and once again, the last 2-point conversion, Park did a really good job. They put some pressure on the quarterback, and they had both receivers defending the end zone. And right now, every point matters to try to get back in this game, so you really want to come up with a stop here.
So Beckley-Stratton called that timeout. They're set to go for 2, 4:14 remaining opening quarter, which Beckley-Stratton has got off to a fast start, a 20-0 lead as they set up to go for 2. They got like a power situation there, line up in the backfield. And the quarterback, Davis, or beg your pardon, Ellison up under center. He looks to throws into the back of the end zone, and it's broken up. Good defense by Park. But your new score with 4:14 remaining in the first quarter is Beckley-Stratton 20, Park nothing. We'll take a quick break and be right back here on Video Productions.
Here we grow again. Pioneer Community Bank is proud to offer a network of banks right here in our communities. By offering you more locations, Pioneer continues to meet all your banking needs where you are. Please stop by our new Harper Road location. We are truly investing in Southern West Virginia. Pioneer Community Bank. Friendly service, great products. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And we welcome you back to Van Meter Stadium, Pete Curl-Certo Field in Beckley. I'm Maris Lowry with Mario Lowry, Jackie Moon on camera, and Cameron Ball producing and directing. And Mario, Beckley-Stratton got to be impressed with what they've done. Off to a fast start. They ran 5 plays from scrimmage, not counting the 2-point conversions, and they lead 20-0.
Yeah, they've looked spectacular so far. For Park, the next possession is the biggest possession. The last time you got it to a yard short, I'd be ready for the squib kick again. They've already tried it twice. And like I said, this possession is really important to try to go get some momentum and try to get a touchdown.
Yeah, if you're Beckley-Stratton, you don't want to kick the ball deep because that's where Zayden Johnson-Hill is on the far side there inside the 30. And in space, he can make it really tough on your special team. So I'll look for Beckley-Stratton to kick the ball short again.
Yeah, maybe they should sneak him up and let him try to catch it on a bounce and take it all the way.
So we're ready to kick off again for Beckley-Stratton. Like I said, kind of the old school, the three-point stance. You don't see hardly that. In fact, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw that before tonight. And here comes the kickoff, and it's going to be a line drive, and it's going to go out of bounds. But it hit a Park player first. But Park will still get good field position at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, that three-point stance, I mean, it's almost like a hurler stance. You think more teams might actually would go to that on a kickoff because, like I said, that's more like a hurler stance where you're down ready to run and, get your momentum up from the start.
So Park will have it on their own 38-yard line. Dalton Higginbotham, the quarterback. And let's see on this possession, Mario, if they'll try to get the ball to Zayden Johnson-Hill out on the edge. So far, Park's plays have all been right up the gut between the tackles, and they run such a tight formation.
Well, maybe they're going to set something up with a handoff to the reverse.
And there's a false start, and that'll cost Park 5. And that's if you're Park, you definitely don't. It's tough enough in middle school. You definitely don't want to be behind the chains, and that'll cost them 5.
5-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 15.
So they'll back the ball up to the 33-yard line, make it 1st and 15. We're at the 4:12 mark. Like I said, we're not even at the halfway mark yet of the first quarter.
Well, you never want to be down 20-0, but if you do, you want to be there with enough time to try to get back into the ball game. And like I said, there's plenty enough time on the clock, but Park's got to get something going on this drive.
So it'll be 1st and 15 from their own 33-yard line. Higginbotham, the quarterback, up under center. They put a man in motion. They'll pitch it to him, and that's the guy I talked about who they want to get the ball to Zayden Johnson-Hill, and he gets some of the penalty yardage back across the 35 out to the 36-yard line.
That was a good shoestring tackle there on the outside on the corner.
So able to get 3 on the play. 2nd and 12. They've got plenty of time on the play clock. They reset it to 40, and they still got 30 seconds as they break the huddle. But you got to figure they got to get maybe half of it here on 2nd down.
Yeah, you don't want to get this to 3rd and 10. You'd like more like a 3rd and 5 or one big play and get a new set of downs.
They're going to put a little cross buck inside Grubb as he leans forward. A good hard run across the 40 and out to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, you're trying to make your 3rd down as manageable as possible. Like I said, you're within 5 on the play. So you're down to 3rd and 7. You're looking, you want to get 5, 6, 7, all 7 yards on this play.
Yeah, and if you don't, you got to be thinking two plays maybe to pick it up. And let's see if they'll try to get the ball to Johnson-Hill, Zayden Johnson-Hill, and they're going to go run trips to the top of the screen and work out of the shotgun. So you don't see too much of this in middle school.
Right. Now this formation, like I said, you can do so many things. You can throw deep. You can throw a screen.
Higginbotham throws the ball out. They try to get the ball to their best player, Johnson-Hill, and Beckley-Stratton defends that well as that's no gain.
Higginbotham's pass is complete. Zayden Johnson-Hill.
So now it's 4th down, and they need 7, and I would imagine Park would keep their offense out there. We're at 2.5 remaining first quarter.
That's a good play, but the only thing with that, when you throw the ball out that wide, you got to hold your blocks a little bit longer, and Beckley-Stratton was allowed to come up and make the play before it got started.
Yeah, we watched that on the replay. Beckley-Stratton defended that very well, and Park will leave their offense out on the field. So they've got the ball on their own 41. They've got to get the ball out to the 48. So they need 7 yards here on 4th down.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to have to pass on this play because I haven't seen a run tonight go longer than maybe 5 yards.
They're going to pitch the ball to Zayden Johnson-Hill. He's trying to get to the edge. He'll need some blocking, and there's nothing doing. Beckley-Stratton, a great job of pursuing. They try to run the ball to the wide side of the field, and a great job by Beckley-Stratton.
Yeah, Beckley-Stratton keeps so much of their players close to the line of scrimmage with one guy back that you got to beat that first couple tackles, and then if you can break that, then you have grass, or in this case turf, ahead of you.
So Beckley-Stratton will take over at the Park 43. They've scored their 3 previous possessions, 2-play drive, a 2-play drive, and a 1-play drive. So they have been very efficient, has been the Beckley-Stratton Bulldogs.
Yeah, if you're Park, you got to really dig in right now. This is a make or break time. You got to really keep them out of the end zone.
So it'll be Ellison, the quarterback. They'll once again run from the I. The up back is Plummer. The deep back is Davis. That's a 1-2 smash and dash, and Plummer gets the carry, and he'll move the pile down to the 40, maybe down to the 39-yard line. Let's see where they put him down at. They'll give him the 40, actually just a tad inside the 40. We'll call it the 40. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, holding the 3 on 1st down is It's good defense. You'd like to have less than 3, but no more than 3.
Yeah, you smash with Plummer and then you dash with Davis. And that's a lethal weapon that Beckley-Stratton's got. And they line up in that formation again from the eye.
And you got a strong side tight end to the wide side of the field.
And they're going to run the ball again right up the gut.
That was a really good play by the Park lineman.
So they're going to gain a couple of yards down to the 38-yard line of maybe the 37 and bring up third down. So from the 37, they've got to get the ball to the 33. They'll need 4 yards on this third down play, but obviously they're thinking 2 plays to pick it up.
Yeah, this is another crucial play. You want stop of no gain or a loss in the backfield to try to make it difficult for fourth down.
And they're going to hand the ball up inside, and great defense by Park as that time Plummer goes nowhere. You know, they hit him for that play for a touchdown earlier in the game, and that time Park was ready, and that's a nice defensive play that time by Larry Johnson-Hill, a beautiful defensive play by the Roadrunners.
Yeah, I'm sure Park has had to make a few adjustments, some of the plays, and like I said, they were ready for that one.
They lost back to the 39, so it's a fourth down for Beckley-Stratton, 4th and 6. As we may not get a play off down to the final 9 seconds of the quarter. And Beckley-Stratton, I think, is just going to allow the time to run out of the quarter, and they will at the end of one quarter here in Beckley. And the Battle of Beckley of this middle school game, it's Beckley-Stratton 20, Park nothing. We'll be right back here on Video Productions.
Park 0.
Struggling with payroll problems, compliance confusion, or HR headaches? It's time to discover Compliance, the trusted solution for a healthier, stress-free business. With Compliance, you will experience faster, error-free payroll, effortless compliance with labor laws, and expert HR support and guidance. Don't let workplace stress take over. Ask your business if compliance is right for you. Side effects may include reduced stress, increased efficiency, improved morale, and a strong reliance on compliance. Consult Compliance today. Compliance, because a better business starts with a better you.
For 50 years, Little General Stores has proudly served West Virginia, fueling families, friends, and communities across the Mountain State. To celebrate our golden anniversary, we're giving away $50,000 to thank you, our loyal customers. Little General Stores, 50 years strong and just getting started.
Colder days are coming. Replace those old drafty windows and doors now. Call Window World of Beckley today. 1-800-WINDOW WORLD.
Tomorrow night, our crew will head to Greenbrier County. We'll be at Fairley at Spartan Stadium. It'll be the Shady Spring Tigers taking on Greenbrier East. Mario out of Greenbrier East, number 3 in Class AAA. Shady's kind of fell on hard times. They won the first game, and since then they've lost 4 in a row. So if Shady really wants to turn around their season, tomorrow would be a huge upset for them to turn it around.
Yeah, you always want to beat a team that has a good record, also a neighboring county, and I'm sure the Tigers are going to go up there scratching for or clawing for a win tomorrow.
So Eric Thomas will join me tomorrow. We'll be on the air at 7, kickoff at 7:30. We're ready to start the second quarter here in Beckley, Van Meter Stadium at Pete Colacerto Field. A beautiful night. It's a fourth down play coming up, 4th and 6 for Beckley-Stratton at the Park 39. You might want to think about turning the lights on as you got the sun on one side and really shade on this end of the field where Beckley-Stratton's going to the school end. And here's a fourth down play. Out of the eye. They're going to pitch it to Davis. He's got running room. He's close to a first down, and he might have it. And I believe he does.
Yeah, just a simple toss, and the running back just waited for the opening in the hole, and then he just hit it up through there, and he does have the first down.
He had to get to the 33. He gets to the 32-yard line, and as you said, Mario, enough for a Beckley-Stratton first down.
Park's defense did a really good job on 3 plays. It was the 4th one that got them. And like I said, with Beckley-Stratton, you know they're not kicking the ball, so you got 4 downs here to stop them on the next set of series.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Beckley-Stratton at the Roadrunner 32-yard line. They're going to run out of the shotgun this time. And Ellison, the quarterback, waiting on the shotgun snap. And he's to throw. Pressure comes, throwing the deep ball on the near side. He's got a man out there, and it's caught for the touchdown. What a beautiful play, a well-thrown ball by the Beckley-Stratton quarterback, Bentley Ellison, and you're going to have to help me out to see who caught that because I can't see the numbers. But that was a beautiful throw as we watch the replay.
Yeah, very accurate throw. Like I said, and it makes the catch so great. Like I said, from our view here in the stadium, that's where the sun was directly, when he looked back, shining in his eyes, and he was still able to reach up and pull it out of the sky for a touchdown.
That was Cameron Davis. That's a 32-yard touchdown pass, so that's a 5-play, 43-yard drive. Beckley-Stratton ready to go for 2, but you can see why we talked on top, Mario, why Cameron Davis is a special player.
Yep, he sure is. Like I said, the Flying Eagles will be excited about when they get him up here.
Here's the 2-point conversion and a little zigging and zagging. And the quarterback, Ellison, able to find the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, if you can't go wide, just put your foot in the ground and cut it back inside. And soon you find daylight, as Vince Lombardi used to say, run to daylight. And he found just enough crease to get into the end zone.
So 4 possessions, 4 scores, 7:17 left in the half, 28-0. While we got a minute, want to tell you about Leisure Lanes. They're having their Bowloween, which comes up on Halloween night, which is Friday, October the 31st. You can dress up. I think they are having a costume bowling. Well, they are having a costume bowling party, but you can win cash, I do believe, for the best costume. Anyway, for more information about that, you can call them at 304-253-7328. Also, the game tonight brought to you by Infinity Coal Company. Infinity Coal Company located in Sophia, West Virginia. They're hiring experienced and underground miners, and they pay a great wage, great benefits. You can apply online through the United Coal Company's Facebook page. But Mario, what I've seen, and I saw Beckley-Stratton earlier in the year when they put up 50 on Wyoming East, but in doing their games last year to this year, they've made great improvement, and got to be impressed with what you've seen.
Very efficient offense. Like I said, everything that they've thrown up tonight has worked. Like I said, they've gone on the ground, they've gone up the middle, they've gone through the air, they've gone through screens, and you can just tell that they're a well-oiled machine in the middle of the season.
But, I like what they've done, and like you said, they've mixed it up. They've ran inside, outside, they passed it. They make you defend everything. As here comes the kickoff, and this will be a little squibber across the 35, up over the 40, or maybe right to the 40. Still running, gets to the 45-yard line over near the park bench on the far side of the field.
Back to the 45-yard line. I think over.
So that's where Park will start. Only the third time Park's had the ball.
Yeah, good strong return. He caught it on a bounce, and I like that he just turned it upfield and went as hard as he could to get as much yards as he can to start this possession.
So they'll put the ball down on the far side hash at the 45-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Roadrunners. They got to get something going. They trailed the ball game 28-0. They've had some moments, they've had some plays, but they had a penalty that hurt on a series. They had a fumble that hurt them on a 4th down play where they lost yardage.
Yeah, right now, if you're Park, I don't think they have a first down tonight. It's the first thing you want to do is get something positive and get your first down of the night.
Higginbotham pitches it to Zayden Johnson-Heel, and he's hit behind the line. That's good defense for Beckley-Stratton. They're going to lose 3 or 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, that's what you call playing downhill. They're getting in across the line of scrimmage and getting in the backfield and just making it really difficult for the Park player to make any kind of cut or move.
Yeah, it's a 3-yard loss back to the 42. 2nd and 13, clock turning, coming up on the 6:40 mark at halftime. Till halftime, rather.
I don't know if Park has like a halfback pass in their playbook, but that might be something that would work if you get Beckley-Stratton to suck up to the running back.
So the field basically covered in shade now, just a little bit of sun across the field. Like I said, maybe they should turn the lights on as they put Johnson-Hill in motion. They tried to run the ball, and Beckley-Stratton's all over it, and that's going to go for virtually no gain, maybe a yard, maybe.
Yeah, you got most of the field right now. It's probably at least 80% in shade. So, yeah, right now would be a good time to get the lights on and, just like I said, help their vision on the field.
Yeah, so there's a 1-yard gain, and like I said, a lot easier to play when you got a 4-touchdown lead at 28-0, and Parks had a time, especially when you have negative yardage on 1st down.
Yeah, it's time for Beckley-Stratton just to be really aggressive. Like I said, they're cheating up the line of scrimmage, and they're trying to make it as difficult on Park as they can.
Yeah, Beckley-Stratton, you can see they got 10 guys in the box, just one guy up over the top, as now they have to change that as Park changes its formation, and Higginbotham waits on the shotgun snap. They'll go empty. Higginbotham trying to set up a screen, and he throws it to the tight end. It's caught. The ball's out. It's a fumble. It would have been a 1st down. The ball's loose, and Beckley-Stratton's on it.
That was such a nice play other than the end result. They got Beckley-Stratton to overplay to the trips receivers, and then they stuck the tight end out. And it's a shame for Park. That was a really well-designed play, but the ball is going back over to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's like what you call living well. Beckley-Stratton, it looked like, as you said, a well-designed play. It's going to be Park's first down of the game, a big gainer, and now on the turnover, Beckley-Stratton will take over on their own 31-yard line.
Yeah, Park has their moments of some really good football here tonight, but it's on the flip side of that, Beckley-Stratton has had a lot of really good plays go their way.
So here's Ellison quarterbacking from Beckley-Stratton will run the shotgun. They'll hand the ball up inside to Plummer. There's our first penalty of the game. And I was wondering how long we were going to go before we had a penalty.
Well, we had one on Park.
Yeah.
So this is the first one possible on Beckley-Stratton.
We had a false start on Park, right.
Right.
But they've been so far and few between, that's why I thought we only had one. But this looked like it might be holding because the flag came right in the middle of the pile where you normally get holding.
Right. And, of course, if it is, that's a 10-yard penalty. You want to make it 1st and 20 to put a little bit extra stress on the Bulldogs offense.
So there they will mark off the holding penalty, take the ball back to the 21, like you said, a 10-yard penalty, make it 1st down and 20.
And 1st and 20, they may look for a pass, chance for Park maybe to step in front of one, get a turnover, an interception, maybe hit the quarterback, try to, lodge the ball away from them. But right now you got to be thinking somehow get your hands on the ball and try to get the ball back.
So from their own 21, Beckley-Stratton 1st and 20, leading in the game 28-0. They'll run the pitch to Davis. He's got a seam, got some running room. He breaks the ball across the 30, over the 35, got a 1st down up over the 40, and all the way out to the 45-yard line. We have an injured Beckley-Stratton player behind the play, but it'll be a 1st down for the Bulldogs out to the 45-yard line. And do I see a flag? I think I do see a flag back in the backfield. So let's see what the flag is going to be. As there's an injured Beckley-Stratton player getting up on his own very slowly. And let's see what the call is going to be.
If you're Park, you really need a holding penalty or something on Beckley-Stratton after a 20-plus gain on 1st down, something that you're hoping that will kind of slow down this momentum of Beckley-Stratton.
Yeah, it's a 24-yard gain from their own 21 out to the 45, but the officials are discussing what the flag is going to be, and that's why we'll keep it here before we go to break to see what the penalty is going to be. Is the injured Beckley player, I can't even see his number yet, as he's up standing there about the 21-yard line.
Yeah, it's always a good sign when they get up, and like I said, they're checking him out, make sure that he's able to walk off on his own.
As he's coming to the sideline, looks like he's going to be okay. Now just waiting to see if the run will stand or will it come back. The official, the white hat, will give the indication. It's a personal foul on Park, and I would think they would add that to the end of the run.
Yeah, they should add that on, which would make that almost a 40-yard play, which is, like I said, that's just not going in Park's favor right now.
Let's see maybe if we can get that on replay to see exactly what happened behind the play, because I was watching the ball carrier and I couldn't see exactly what took place. Here comes a little general replay as we watch it. There's the toss. Yeah, I couldn't see it.
I think it looked like he had a player the player that was injured was on the ground. Like somebody was on top of him.
Yeah. So the personal foul, and they will add it to the end of the run and mark the 15 yards off, and that gets the ball. When Beckley-Stratton had it, Mario, 1st and 20 on their own 21, all the way down to the Park 40-yard line.
Yeah, you have a little time out here. You don't ever want an injury, but hopefully you might use this time for Park to kind of regroup. They went over the sidelines and maybe get some encouragement or maybe change up something defensively to, like I said, stop this drive.
Well, we got a minute to tell you that tonight's game is brought to you by Pasquale's Italian Restaurant. They have all your favorite Italian dishes. They have sandwiches, salads, and seafood. You can give them a call, 304-255-5253. 1st and 10, Beckley-Stratton on the Park 40 after they got the big 24-yard run and then a 15-yard personal foul penalty added to the end of the run. And Beckley-Stratton's in business, running from the eye on 1st and 10. He'll pitch the ball to Davis. It comes to the near side. He's got running room, got a blocker in front, and he'll get to the edge inside the 20. He's not done yet until he's run out of bounds at the 10-yard line, and a nice block here, a pancake block.
Yeah, that was a great block.
Yeah. Here on the near sideline. So that'll be a 1st down. That's a 30-yard run, and that'll be a 1st down first and goal, and they'll put the ball down, actually a 31-yard run all the way to the 9-yard line.
That was Plummer on the block, right? Number 22?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a textbook block. He knocked the Park player off his feet. It was a clean play, and that opened up the lane for the running back for another big play.
So first and goal, Beckley-Stratton at the Park 9. They'll run from the I. And they'll give the ball to Plummer. I guess they figure that after he had such a good block, they'll reward him with the carry, right?
That's true. And once again, the Beckley varsity team is here sitting tonight watching the game. Some of those players might be looking at Beckley-Stratton and saying, I better work harder this summer. Some of these guys might come up here and take my position next year.
Well, like I said, we talked on top. You got smash and dash. You got Plummer, the smash guy inside, and you got Davis, the dash guy on the outside. Davis with a big run, also caught a touchdown pass.
And that's a true running back, somebody who's running hard inside the tackles, but yet making key blocks on the outside.
So from the 6-yard line, second and goal. And they go with like a real stacked eye here.
Yeah.
Power.
Back in the old days, the power eye.
Yep, they run the ball off the right side to get closer to the goal line, get the ball down maybe to the 1. It'll be third down coming up.
That's really a well-designed play. We used to run that back, I guess back in the old days in the 70s and 80s, where you have 2 blockers up front, and when you pitch a ball, you have 2 guys along with the line, and they're picking up anybody that's in the hole and allowing the running back to make his move or cut after that.
So they got 2 tries to go a yard, and the way they've been running the ball, you would think they'd be able to do that. Is once again they run with this power. Quarterback, Ellison up under center. I think they might sneak it. They'll hand the ball up inside, and I think that was Plummer, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, see, the greatness design of that play, you have 3 guys stacked in the backfield. And the previous play, the first 2 were the blockers. You hand it to the third. This one, you're waiting for Plummer to come up and block you, but yet he's got the ball. And the next thing you know, he's in the end zone.
Well, that was a 5-play, 69-yard drive that was aided by a personal foul penalty after a big 24-yard gain that, like you said, almost made it 40 yards. And that attributed to this good-looking drive. And Beckley-Stratton now is up 34-0 with 3:19 left here in the first half, and they'll line up and go for 2.
And of course, we always talk about in football scoring after a turnover, which led to this drive that got it started.
Right. Park turned it over. They had a nice pass play. It looked like they have their first down of the game, and the tight end fumbled the ball, and Beckley-Stratton able to turn it into points. So here they go for 2. Nice play to roll out. They're going to throw the ball to the end zone, just a little over the head of the intended receiver. It's a well-designed play, and they just threw the ball a little too much. But with 3:19 left in the half, it's all Beckley-Stratton. They lead Park 34-0. We'll be right back here on Video Productions.
You have a goal. You know what you want. Start with us. New River Community and Technical College, your community college. Take classes online or in a classroom in Beaver, Lewisburg, Summersville, or Princeton. Or step outside the classroom in one of our technical or health programs. Find flexible and affordable options to help you reach your goal. It's closer than you think when you start with us. New River Community and Technical College. Apply today.
Welcome back to Beckley, Van Meter Stadium, Pete Colasurto Field, and with Mario Lowry, I'm Maris Lowry. We've got the ML all over the place. Got KB, Cameron Ball, producing and directing, doing a great job. Got JM, Jackie Moon, out there on the camera. And right now, Mario, you've got to be impressed. I know it's the first time you've seen either team, but you really have to be impressed with what you've seen from Beckley-Stratton.
Yeah, you can tell Beckley-Stratton just from I guess after they actually got out here on the field tonight, they were a little delayed coming out of the locker room, but whatever they did in the locker room, it sure led to an explosive offense and a pounding defense.
Well, they've been able to take 2 possessions away. One when they onside kicked it and they were able to get the ball, and then 2 when Park turned it over.
Yeah, you just can't give a team like Beckley-Stratton like that.
Yeah, too explosive. Here comes the kickoff. They're going to try an onside kick again. That will not go 10 yards. And Park is going to get good field position on Beckley-Stratton's half of the field at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, with 3:19 to go, you got plenty enough time and your timeouts to try to go down and get a touchdown before halftime. If you're Park, you just want something positive before you go into the locker room.
Beautiful night here on this first Thursday of the month of October. And got a nice crowd across the way, Mario. Both teams, as we knew they would, being both local teams, they've turned out well for this, Battle of Beckley in this middle school game.
Yeah, I'd like to mention the band has sounded really nice tonight, playing across the
Yep.
field.
Got Park on one end and Beckley-Stratton. They're sharing the same bleachers across the way. The only people sitting below us is the high school team, the Beckley Flying Eagle. By the way, the Beckley Flying Eagle high school football team will be at Preston tomorrow night, coming off a bye. They're 2-2. So Higginbotham, the quarterback, they'll run the ball right up the gut, try to move the pile, and they'll move the pile a couple of yards, maybe 3 yards, inside the 45, down to the Beckley-Stratton 44-yard line.
Yeah, on a running clock, you want to get back up the line of scrimmage, and you don't want to put waste too much time getting your next play in.
They'll get the ball down to the 43-yard line and pick up 3 on the play. But you're right, because we're under 3 minutes for the half.
Yeah, at some point, like I said, you don't have to rush 100%, but you definitely want to be lined up, ready to go, look over your defense, and get your play in.
Yeah, you want to be quick. You just don't want to rush.
Right.
And from the Beckley-Stratton 43, they'll go empty. Here's the shotgun snap. And this is the Parks version of the Wildcat. And
nice run. Nice break.
Beautiful run by Johnson Hill, and he's going to score inside the 10-5 touchdown. And as you said, Mario, Park really needed something positive to happen, and this is their Wildcat version, the Roadrunner. And Zayden Johnson Hill, as we talked about on top, able to take that snap, run 43 yards, and get into the end zone for a Park touchdown.
Now, you might have had a better view on that play than I did. It looked like that he faked the pass. I couldn't tell if he faked the arm, but I thought he was going to throw the ball, and I think that was enough just to get Beckley-Stratton out of position on defense.
Well, what he did is we watched the replay. Watch this. It looked like a little hesitation, and then he cut it against the grain right there and showed his speed, and he outruns the Beckley-Stratton defense. So that's a two-play, 46-yard drive and a 43-yard touchdown run by Zayden Johnson Hill. And now Park will line up to go for 2 with 2:21 left in the half. 34-6 is now the new score. And now a timeout by Park. The play clock was running down. So while we got a minute, we'll take a quick timeout and come back with this 2-point conversion here on Video Productions.
Direct Choice Pre-Owned Auto Sales is a proud supporter of all our area middle school and high school athletics. Direct Choice Pre-Owned Auto Sales keeps a huge selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs with some of the best prices in southern West Virginia. We also have several lenders for your financing needs. Direct Choice Pre-Owned Auto Sales and your student athletes, a winning combination.
For 50 years.
And we welcome you back to Beckley. They are now turning the lights on. As the sun is still in our eyes, Mario, by the second half, hopefully it will be completely down. As Park needed they got that much-needed touchdown, a 43-yard run from Zayden Johnson Hill. And now they had to call a timeout because the play clock was running down as they set to go for 2.
Yep, and here's 2 points you want to add on to that touchdown to keep the momentum going.
And that's Hill who takes the snap, throws a little pass, got a man there, nifty play, and they get the 2-point conversion. That was a nice play as they thought maybe Zayden Johnson Hill was going to run the ball, sucked everybody up, throw it over the top for the 2-point conversion.
I think the Park coaches are probably listening to our production tonight, how much I stressed they had to get something positive for halftime. I think the brought the team over and said, hey, Video Productions wants you guys to go down and get a touchdown here and keep this game going.
That was a nice drive, a 2-play, 46-yard drive, and they ended up with a 43-yard touchdown run from Zayden Johnson Hill to get the 2-point conversion. Your new score is Beckley-Stratton 34 and Park 8. I want to let you know that the ball game tonight is brought to you in part by Allstate Insurance, and you're in good hands with Allstate, and you're in good hands with Lori Richmond being the agent. She's my agent, takes care of me, she'll take care of you, and you can dial her up at 304-252-8646. You're in good hands with Allstate. Now, kickoff time, and if you're Park, I'm not sure you want to give Beckley-Stratton a short field and kick it short, but also you want to keep the ball out of the hands of Cameron Davis.
Right, you want to try to kick away from them, but over the
first line.
The first line. Try to kick it in the corner, go down, and maybe try to jump on it.
And even if you kicked it out of bounds, I don't think it'd be that bad to get the ball to 35. At least there would be no return.
But the final 2:21, you just did something positive on offense. Now it's your turn to do something positive on defense.
And they do have an onside kick. Beckley-Stratton picks it up and going to get great field position right across midfield.
first and 10 on the Park 49-yard line.
So Beckley-Stratton will start this possession on Park's half of the field at the 49-yard line. Beckley-Stratton has 2 timeouts and 2:17 in which to work with, and we've seen the passing capabilities with the quarterback Ellison and to the receivers and receiver Cameron Davis that they have. So, they can run the ball. The whole playbook right here is open to Beckley-Stratton.
If you're Park on defense, you got to say keep them out of the end zone. No matter what happens, if they catch a big pass, tackle them, don't let them get in the end zone, and let's see if we can hold them here before halftime.
So from the 49-yard line of Park, Bentley Ellison, the quarterback, out of the eye. Got Plummer, the up back. They'll hand it to the second back, Davis, off the right side. He's got running room. He's inside the 40. One man to beat. He able to get away from that one guy and get himself all the way down inside the 15, down to the 12-yard line.
Gain of about 40 on the play for another Beckley-Stratton first down.
Yeah, that's been a successful play all night. Is just flip it to the tailback, let them get to the outside. The blocking has been excellent. They're getting what we call a hat on a hat, and they're giving him plenty of room to do his thing when he gets in the open field.
But Cameron Davis, and I watched him last year as a 7th grader, an 8th grader, and he has really put on a show in this first half, him and Plummer both.
And Beckley-Stratton can still get a first down without scoring.
Yeah, they got the ball at the 12. They can get a first down at the 2, 1st and 10. They don't have to be in any hurry. They'll run the ball to Plummer up inside. He'll get the ball down inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line.
Plenty of time on the clock, so we're under 90 seconds.
Yep, Beckley-Stratton doesn't have to be in any hurry. There's 35 on the play clock, so they don't have to hustle anything. They can take their time.
If you're Park, you want to wrap up the first man wrap up, second and third come in, try to punch the ball out.
So it'll be second down. The ball at the 8-yard line. Like I said, they can get a first down without scoring at the 2. So it's 8 for the touchdown, 6 for the first down. They run from the eye. And they'll hand the ball to Davis, and thought he fumbled there for a minute. He looked like he juggled it. Yeah, he fumbled it, and then he got it back. That's living well. Looked like the ball bounced right back to him.
Yeah, that allowed the Park defender to get under his legs and to take him down before getting in the end zone.
First and 10 from their
So actually, looks like maybe Beckley-Stratton was on it as we watch the replay, and there'll be a first down.
Yeah, he hits that hole so quick that any type of bobble like that is enough to slow him down enough to get a tackle on him. But you gotta get on the line of scrimmage. You got to start getting up there and hitting him before he gets past the line of scrimmage.
This is probably Nemo Plummer time.
But we're down 20 seconds.
Park recovered it. I beg your pardon. I couldn't see that. Park recovered the fumble. So Beckley-Stratton fumbles on the goal line, and Park takes over with 16 seconds. And you'd think this would be the last play. You think you just run a quarterback sneak and get in the locker room here.
Yeah, you definitely want to handle the ball here. Make sure you get the exchange from the center.
And now we've got some confusion and a timeout by Park with 16 seconds, and I'm sure that's what the coaches of Park want to tell their players. Look, we got to make sure we get a clean exchange and just go forward and get into the locker room.
Yeah, and if you're the quarterback, you got to make sure that you don't step backwards to take a knee and end up being in the end zone. So,
yeah, you don't want to take a knee. You want to take the snap and go forward.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to watch the replay again here because I saw the ball juggled and fumbled back. Didn't see as we watch the replay here right there. Yeah, he kind of maybe kicked the ball and recovered right there by Park. So there, I'm watching it not off the monitor, and that was a nice play.
And that's the stop and the positive thing that Park needed tonight after scoring a touchdown.
And
the recovery by Logan Dunn was right there. Johnny on the spot to pick up the fumble.
In that case, Logan on the spot.
Yes, Logan on the spot.
I'm thinking, like I said, with the timeout of Park, you don't want to go backwards at all. You want to, like you said, make sure you get a clean exchange, center to quarterback, and just fall forward.
I think you want to look, regardless of the scoreboard, you want to play hard, keep them out of the end zone, and you want to be ready to come out second half and just start working on one positive play or possession after the other.
And that was a big stop for Park to get that turnover right there on the goal line. So that's about the only thing that Beckley-Stratton really has done wrong in this first half.
Yeah, that would have been a backbreaker to go in and score there after Park put up a long touchdown run.
They're going to go empty. And it's a high snap, and they're going to throw out of their own end zone. And it's intercepted, a penalty flag. That might be pass interference, but that's living dangerously to throw the ball out of your own end zone in the last 16 seconds of the half. Park might be able to get away with that there might be pass interference on Beckley-Stratton.
Yeah, that's a call I wouldn't make as a coach. I
didn't think they would. And actually, the snap almost went over the quarterback's head.
Pass interference on the Bulldogs.
Let's see what the call is going to be.
Well, as the great Lou Holt says, anytime you got the ball around the 1 or 2 yard line, be ready because somebody's about to score. It might be the offense, it might be the defense.
So it is a pass interference call on Beckley-Stratton, and Park avoids a disaster with 10 seconds left in the half.
If they ran that play in their own end zone, there's nothing, that says they're not going to come out and run one more pass play here before halftime.
Yeah, they have some breathing room now. The ball up over the 15, out to the 17-yard line, and now, let's see, is Park going to take their final timeout? They will. We'll take their final timeout. I want to let you know that tonight's game is brought to you in part by the Spartan Factory. Spartan Factory located in Beckley, West Virginia. And they have T-shirts, uniforms, bags, bats, banners, everything you need, hats, anything that you're looking for, sports-related wise, all kinds of good cheerleading stuff as well. You can check them out on their website, thespartanfactorywv.com. Also, the game tonight brought to you in part by Pepsi of Southern West Virginia. Love to have me an ice-cold Pepsi right about now. But, that last play, Mario, Park living dangerously, wasn't they? As the snap almost went over the quarterback's head.
Yeah, I definitely he got his hand on it the last second, and he threw it right away, which avoided the sack, which would have been a 2-point safety.
Or if they'd have knocked the ball free, it could have been a touchdown.
Yeah, definitely.
So now Park used their last timeout, and like you said, if they're willing to throw the ball out of their own end zone.
Well, they got 3 receivers. I think they're going to throw the ball in this play.
So Higginbotham, out of the shotgun, they go empty.
They're not going to go quietly into the night.
Nope. Higginbotham takes the snap, throws the ball, and it's picked. It's an interception, and
you got to make that tackle, keep them out of the end zone.
And they do, as there's 2 seconds left. And they keep running the clock. Actually, it looked like the half should have never ran out. He got tackled with 2 seconds.
I think, did he give him a touchdown?
No, he didn't get in, but it looked like there should be 2 seconds left. And the clock should stop momentarily for the change of possession.
Yeah, I looked up and
call a timeout.
I looked up and he was down. There was still 1 on the clock. So
yeah, there should be at least 2 seconds on the clock, and I think, is that going to be the half? I think the officials are saying there should have been, when he got tackled, there was time on the clock. And Beckley-Stratton could call a timeout and try one more play here.
Well, you really don't need a timeout because change of possession, so you already have the timeout.
Well, they could call a timeout to set up the play they want.
Right.
And, they put 2 seconds back, which I think that is correct. So Park escaped danger the play before, and they really lived dangerous by throwing it again and gets it picked off.
Yeah, you just made a big stop. You took a turnover. You just want to go into halftime and just, like I said, be ready to play the second half. And you don't want to give a touchdown at this point with 2 seconds. And where they're at, they can run or pass.
They can run or pass. They'll put the ball down. Let's see. I'm waiting. Now they throw the ball out. It's inside the 5, I believe, maybe the 4. Waiting for the referee to put the ball down.
If you're Park, you're playing one more defensive play. You probably shouldn't have to play this half.
Actually, going to put the ball down at the 3-yard line on the far hash. So you're right. They can run it. They can pass it. 2 seconds left. Beckley-Stratton trying to add to their lead. And let's see what they do. They're going to run the ball to Davis. He's their best player. He'll waltz into the end zone for a touchdown on the final play of the half.
That's the horn. Of course, you'll still get your 2-point try because that's an untimed down. So touchdown good, and now they'll go for 2, and that will be the official end of half, barring any type of penalty.
A 1-play, 3-yard drive after a turnover.
Yeah. You got to go in halftime 34-8. Like I said, you're down 28. But guess what? Now you're down 32 and possibly 34.
So now Beckley-Stratton will line up and go for 2. And they'll run from the I. And let's see if they do the same thing. They do. Exact same play and the exact same result.
Yeah, we thought Park escaped disaster on the fumble. He could securely hold on to the ball and go in at halftime. But, I guess always try to make a play.
So at the break, it is Beckley-Stratton 42 and Park 8. We'll take a break and come back and recap the first half. You're watching live streaming coverage of middle school football here on Video Productions.
We gave a future driver a first look and asked what he thinks makes a good truck. These trucks aren't just for today's drivers, they're for future ones too.
There's a compartment here, great leather seats, a bunch of charging ports, has everything pretty much.
Now it's your turn.
Since I'm too young to do business in the front, I have to do party in the back.
Come to Mid-State Ford and drive off in a new truck, cool enough to earn backseat approval. Mid-State Ford, home of the Big John deals.
Before you hit the Hatfield-McCoy trails, fuel up the way West Virginians do, at Little General Stores. We're proud to be part of your ride. Rooted in West Virginia and built for the back roads. Little General Stores. Fuel your adventure the West Virginia way.
There's a place where innovation becomes transformation, where you'll find that education is not just about learning, but about being excited to learn. A place to feel at home. Pursue dreams and prepare for careers. Build lifelong friendships. And a place where you'll be encouraged and mentored along your journey. Discover your future. Get ready to soar. The University of Charleston.
Hey, grab me one too.
I never thought this would happen.
When disaster takes control of your life, we got you. Get it back with a single call to the team that shows up fast to make things right. Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
Direct Choice Pre-Owned Auto Sales is a proud supporter of all our area middle school and high school athletics. Direct Choice Pre-Owned Auto Sales keeps a huge selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs with some of the best prices in southern West Virginia. We also have several lenders for your financing needs. Direct Choice Pre-Owned Auto Sales and your student athletes, a winning combination.
And we welcome you back to Van Meter Stadium in Beckley. Pete Colacerto Field. Beckley-Stratton up big at the break, 42-8. By the way, we got to give a mention to Jackson Pennington. He recovered that fumble when the tight end for Park put it on the ground that led to a Beckley-Stratton touchdown. But Mario, you look how efficient Beckley-Stratton was. A two-play drive, another two-play drive, a one-play drive, five-play drive, another five-play drive, a four-play drive, and then the last one a one-play drive. So they've scored every time they've had the ball.
Other than the turnover.
Other than when they fumbled the ball down at the goal line.
Yeah, that kind of reminded me of the Super Bowl 22 when Washington scored 35 points in the second quarter. They scored 5 touchdowns on 18 plays. I think they might have even done a little bit better than that.
Well, let's see. I'll count them up here. That's 2, 4, 5, 10, 15, 16, 20. Yeah, they scored 42 points, Beckley-Stratton, on 20 plays. And if you throw in the two-point conversion, that's what? They've scored how many? They've scored 6 touchdowns? 7
and I think
touchdowns.
Other than one penalty, I can't think of any negative plays. I think everything they've had has been positive tonight.
Yeah, and the guys we talked about on top, like I said, Smash and Dash. The Smash and Nemo Plummer has been really good. And, of course, the Dash guy, Cameron Davis. Also the outstanding quarterback play by Bentley Ellison.
And, of course, you always want to give your kudos to the offensive line and the defense. Those are the guys that get their names mentioned here tonight. But the defense has been outstanding, and the offense has just been opening up holes and down on the line of scrimmage getting things done.
Zayden Johnson-Hill has the lone touchdown for Park. Also, Logan Dunn for Park had a fumble recovery. It's homecoming here at Beckley-Stratton, so some of their football players, actually I can see one. That's the only one I see right now. One is participating in the homecoming, and it's a beautiful night here in Beckley, and it's 42-8, and it's even really more beautiful on the Beckley-Stratton side as they're sitting on the same side of the field across the way. Of course, half is Beckley-Stratton, the other half is Park, but really got to be impressed with what we saw for Beckley-Stratton in the first half.
Yeah, they came out on all cylinders, playing a great game, of course, here. You got 4 8-minute halves, 16 minutes in the books. Final 16 minutes after the game, they can shake hands and start looking towards being future Eagles someday.
All right, we'll take a break as our halftime rolls on here from Van Meter Stadium, Pete Curl-Certo Field in Beckley. This Battle of Beckley Middle School game right now, it's all Beckley-Stratton at the break, 42-8.
When you're in need of a plumber, you want someone that's going to treat you like family. Modley's Plumbing and Heating, a family-owned business since 1987, wants you to know our customers and employees are as important as family. Built by family to families, quality work is our hallmark at Modley's Plumbing and Heating. So the next time you're in need of a plumber, give Modley's Plumbing and Heating a call at 304-253-HELP. Help to Modley's means handling every little problem.
He's a Greenbrier buyer. She's a Greenbrier buyer. They're Greenbrier buyers. And we want to make you a Greenbrier buyer too. At Greenbrier Automotive, we'll do whatever we can to make your car buying experience the best it can be. From providing outstanding service to offering a huge selection to choose from, all with the best deals possible. Visit one of our 7 area dealerships soon or shop over 800 vehicles on greenbrierautomotive.com.
Access Health began as a small clinic with a simple yet powerful purpose: to care for our neighbors right here at home. From the very beginning, it was about people showing up for each other, building trust, and staying connected. Today, Access Health is serving thousands across southern West Virginia. But what makes us different isn't just the care we provide, it's who provides it. Our team was born here, trained here, and lives here. This is what community looks like. This is Access Health, by the community, for the community, always.
Hey, grab me one too.
For 50 years, Little General Stores has proudly served West Virginia, fueling families, friends, and communities across the Mountain State. To celebrate our golden anniversary, we're giving away $50,000 to thank you, our loyal customers. Little General Stores, 50 years strong and just getting started.
I never thought this would happen.
When disaster takes control of your life, we got you. Get it back with a single call to the team that shows up fast to make things right. Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
At halftime, Beckley-Stratton leads Park 42-8. Tonight's game is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Scotty Brown, your local State Farm agent in Shady Spring, West Virginia. You can dial Scotty up at 681-238-6130. Happened to be in Scotty's office this afternoon, and they've got a lot of good things going on at State Farm. Also, the game tonight is brought to you in part by Exit Elevation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a house, you can check out Luke Richmond, the broker, Steve Morgan, the associate broker, and you can go to their website at exitelevationwv.com. Also, the game brought to you by Edward Jones. Heather Cantley is the Edward Jones financial advisor. She's at a new location, Harper Road in Beckley. She's my financial advisor, and she helped me prepare for retirement, and she can help you as well. And you can call her up at 254-0097. Also, the game brought to you by Hart's Cabinets in MacArthur, West Virginia, quality custom cabinets, and they're a proud sponsor of local sports, and you can call them at 304-252-2917. All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back and get you ready for the second half. 42-8 is the halftime lead for Beckley-Stratton here on Video Productions.
Hey, my name's Paige, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the crispiness of the breading and the tenderness of the filet. It's tasty, it's warm, it's total satisfaction.
Hi, this is Tanya, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is that warm bun, the perfectly seasoned chicken, and that pickle. Woo! I love it. There's a taste of my childhood in every bite.
Summer's here, the Jeep is ready, and at Northside Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat, you're getting the best prices in southern West Virginia. Top off, doors open, sunshine pouring in. This is what summer freedom feels like. Your next adventure starts here at Northside Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat in Summersville, where everybody rides. Because summer's better with a Jeep and the best deal around.
If you're...
And we welcome you back to Van Meter Stadium, Pete Curl-Certo Field in Beckley. I'm Maris Lowry with Mario Lowry. We got KB, Cameron Ball doing a great job producing and directing, Jackie Moon on camera. And tomorrow our crew will be in Fairleigh, West Virginia. We'll have the Shady Greenbrier East game. By the way, that's a 7:30 kickoff. We'll air at 7 o'clock on Video Productions, one of multiple games that will be running throughout the state of West Virginia. And Mario, it's hard to believe that we're into week 6 of the high school football season. I mean, we're just a month away before the end of the regular season, and we start pairing things up for the playoffs.
Yeah, this is kind of like separation month, where teams are going to start separating from your contenders and pretenders, and the teams that are really good are going to start fighting for that home field advantage and top seeding.
You know, here in middle school, you know, there is a Raleigh County Championship, and Independence has been at the top of the mountain for the last couple of years coming into their game tonight. In Independence tonight, they were playing Eastern Greenbrier on the road, and Independence has won 25 straight games going into that. But there's a battle between Independence and Beckley-Stratton, and right now I know other teams will have something to say about that, is Eastern Greenbrier playing Independence tonight, and they will play Beckley-Stratton next week. So Eastern Greenbrier has a say that they could try to knock them both off. But right now, it looks like Independence and Beckley-Stratton are on a collision course when they meet October the 16th at Coal City, that the winner of that game would end up hosting the county championship game.
Yeah, it'd be great if both of them show up at that game undefeated. And, you know, like I said, tonight, Beckley-Stratton, unless there's some major collapses on their way, getting a win tonight. And we're not really sure what Independence Middle School is doing tonight. But like I said, if they keep it rolling, we could see 2 undefeated teams playing here coming up soon.
Yeah, and what I'm told that they're based on the county record, not against their overall record. Of course, Beckley-Stratton's undefeated, but Beckley-Stratton has already beaten Trap Hill. They've already beaten Shady. And like you said, barring a major collapse, they're going to beat Park. So that would give them 3-0 in the county, and Independence would be left. And Independence, even if they were to lose tonight, that still wouldn't hurt them as far as the county's concerned, because Independence has already beat Trap Hill, they've already beat Park, they've already beat Shady. So each team's got 3 wins in the county.
Well, what I've seen out of this Beckley-Stratton team tonight, like I said, I know Independence has a great program, winning 25 in a row, as you said, but they look like that they're going to be a really tough out as well. So that'd be a game that, you know, even if you're not in the area, Beckley-Stratton Independence fans, you might want to come out to that game, or if it's on Video Productions.
We'll have it,
yes,
sure.
Definitely stay home and watch it. Hopefully that might be your highest-rated middle school game of the year.
All right, so we're waiting for the start of the second half. Park's out there. I don't know really what the holdup is down here on the home side for Beckley-Stratton. The officials are out there. Park is out there. And let's see if we can get things going to start the second half. By the way, 8-minute quarters, and also the way the rules apply, and I'm sure they apply the same way in middle school as they do in high school. If you have a 42-point lead or more in the third quarter, it's a running clock. And if it's a 35-point lead or more in the fourth quarter, it's a running clock. And we're very close to that now, Mario.
Well, if you're Park, you just want to extend the game. Even if you can't come all the way back from 34, you want to take this kickoff, go down and score. You want the clock to keep running. Or excuse me, you want to keep the clock at the normal game. So, you get your players out there, you get them more experience. Last thing you want to do is avoid where the clock runs in the second half because you're down by those totals that you mentioned.
It'll be Rylan Grubb back here for Park on the near side. He's inside the 30, and Zayden Johnson Hill on the far side awaiting the kick. But Beckley-Stratton's never really kicked it deep. They've squid or really kicked onside kicks.
Yeah, I don't think the ball's gone past the 40. So, like I said, the front up men need to be ready and alert to get their hands on the ball. And if you're the front line, you just want to go down with the ball when you get, unless there's just a clear bounce right to you.
So we're ready to start the second half. Beckley-Stratton leads 42-8. Here comes the kickoff, and it goes right down the center of the field. And this will be returned by Grubb on the far side, up over the 40, crosses the 45, and ran out of bounds near midfield. So a nice return that time by Grubb for Park.
Yeah, starting your drive on the 50. Your last time you had the ball, you scored. So you want to try to get back-to-back positions with putting the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they're going to be a little shy of midfield. I guess he went out of bounds there at the 47-yard line, but still really good field position.
Like I said, the offense has to feel a little encouraging, like I said, scoring their last drive and saying, boys, we can get this done. We can get a touchdown here. Let's just go out and execute our offense.
One thing about it, you couldn't ask for a more perfect night for football here on the first Thursday of October.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful night.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Park. Now they got hold of, I guess they got to get the chain gang, get maybe the chains untangled. It'll be 1st and 10 Park on their own 47-yard line.
And if you're Park, you're in 4-down mode the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So you just want positive plays, and, first down is always key. You want to try to get 5 yards on that and, put a good drive together and go down and score.
Dalton Higginbotham, the quarterback, and Park, there's a false start. And that'll cost them 5, and that's definitely not the way you want to start the second half.
Right, and I like what they were doing with that Wildcat. That was very successful on the touchdown, the 2-point conversion. I might come out in that to start the second half.
Of course, in Park, they call it the Roadrunner.
The Roadrunner,
Yeah,
yes.
They're looking for Wile E. Coyote, huh? The Roadrunner?
I think the Acme truck is showing up tonight.
Maybe.
So.
But let's see what maybe Park needs the Acme truck to get back in the game is that 5-yard penalty, take the ball back to the 42 and make it 1st and 15. And no matter what the score is, especially when you're down 42-8, you don't want to start coming out of the locker room and have a false start.
Right, and this might change some of your play calling. Like I said, instead of handing the ball up the middle, you may want to try something wider, try to get a big play on first down.
So Higginbotham up under center, and he'll run the ball to Zayden Hill, and not much there. Beckley-Stratton was all over that. They might get a yard, maybe.
Yeah, other than the one big run, they've had him bottled up tonight. Like I said, they're winning the line of scrimmage for Beckley-Stratton, and they're making it really difficult for him to make that first cut or first move.
Yeah, it'd be no gain. It'd be 2nd and 15. And you think, Park might want to have a little urgency, or maybe they just, look, we're going to forget the score. We're going to forget what the score of the game is. We're going to try to score on this drive, or we'll just make a positive play, one play at a time.
I was going to say they ended their last 2 plays in the halftime throwing the ball, so they might want to come out and try to throw the ball now.
They've tried to run an inside handoff, and Beckley-Stratton's like they're ready for that. That's going to go nowhere, and it's going to be 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, you got to look for a big play this down. You got to try to get your receivers out down the field and, get a catch or even try to get maybe an interference penalty.
They'll give it a 1-yard gain out to the 43-yard line, make it 3rd and 14.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to give the ball back to Beckley-Stratton with better field position than what you started with.
There's plenty of time on the play clock. As Higginbotham was over there on the far side getting the play from his head coach. 20 on the play clock. They haven't broke the huddle yet. Now they do. So 3rd and 14 from their own 43-yard line. Clock turning. 6:20 and counting in the third. They got 8 on the play clock.
Yeah, I think they want their receivers to come up closer to the line of scrimmage. They've lining up now.
He's going to try maybe their Wildcat version or the Roadrunner and trying to get to the edge, and Beckley-Stratton's all over that as Zayden Johnson Hill really had nowhere to run. He picks up a yard and brings up 4th down.
Yeah, at this point, you just got to go for it. And like I said, I think you got to throw the ball here.
Yeah.
And at this point, you got to go for it four down territory the rest of the night.
Yeah, they got the ball in their own 44. They got to get the ball down inside the 45 of Beckley-Stratton. They got to go all the way to the Beckley-Stratton 43 to keep this drive alive. And once again, Higginbotham getting the play call from the coach across the way. 15 on the play clock as the center breaks the huddle.
Yeah, last thing you need here is a delay of game penalty on 4th down and long.
So the clock's running down. 5 on the play clock. And they just get the snap off, and there's going to be a punt. And that's a nifty little play right there.
I like that play, yeah.
Inside the 30-yard line, it'll die there, and Park will down it.
You've got nobody back to return it. We used to call that in the old days a quick kick. Kind of look like Randall Cunningham. I remember back in the old days for the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, that is, Randall Cunningham, they used to snap him the ball. And one time they had like a 70-yard punt out of his own end zone on a play like that.
So the ball will go back to the 28-yard line. That's where Beckley-Stratton will have it for their first possession here of the second half with 5:07 left in the third and leading 42-8. So the 1-2 punch of Davis and Plummer have been outstanding for Beckley-Stratton. Also the steady play of Bentley Ellison at quarterback for the Bulldogs. They'll run from the eye. Park's got everybody stacked in the box. And they'll run to Davis, the second man through, and he'll lose yardage. And that's maybe the first time tonight Beckley-Stratton has been thrown behind the line.
Right. We call that the old TFL, tackle for loss. And like I said, you didn't get many of those in the first half, but second half you're going to still keep playing hard and try to build something positive for your next game. At the end of this game, you just want to keep trying to get better and work on your offense and defense.
It's a 1-yard loss, brings up 2nd and 11, and I'm sure if you're Beckley-Stratton with the lead you have, you're in no real big hurry to do anything fancy. Just keep doing what they did in the first half. So they'll run from the eye again. And they'll pitch the ball to Davis. And he's got a nice gain as he gets across the 30 out to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, if you're Park, you got almost all 11 guys within about 5 yards of the ball. So you've got to make that tackle because if he breaks it, he's got a lot of daylight ahead of him.
Yeah, and brings up a very manageable situation. They got to get out to the 38, so they need 4 yards here on this third down play. And if you're Beckley-Stratton, you're thinking you got 2 downs to get it.
Well, if you hold them here, too, at the same time, you're hoping Beckley might want to try to practice their punt formation tonight.
We'll see what they do. Out of the I formation again. Plummer, the up back. Davis is the deep back. And what do we got? Maybe a timeout. The play clock still had 12 on it. Beckley-Stratton will call a timeout. So while we got a minute, tell you that tonight's game is brought to you in part by Leisure Lanes, Johnstown Road in Beckley. Coming up on Friday, Halloween night, Friday, October the 31st. They'll have their Bowloween futuristic bowling, and you don't want to wait till the last minute to make your reservations. You can dial them up at 304-253-7328. Also, tonight's game is brought to you in part by Infinity Coal Company, located in Sophia, West Virginia. They are hiring experienced underground miners. They offer a great wage, great benefits. You can apply online at the United Coal Company's Facebook page.
Do they paint the bowling balls orange on that night?
You know, you'll have to go to Leisure Lanes and ask Mary Dixon if they do that.
You could have like the orange with the holes could be like the eyes,
could
like
be.
for
well,
jack-o'-lantern.
Because Halloween falls on a Friday night, and by the way, you're probably not aware of this, but Beckley plays Oak Hill. Of course, Oak Hill, or the Red Devils is their nickname. Beckley and Oak Hill will play here. I'll be here on Halloween night. And whenever Halloween, doesn't matter when Halloween falls, they do this bowling on Friday night anyway. But Halloween happens to fall on Friday. But I'm always at a football game, so I never get a chance to go. But I'm told it's excellent. But I've been to the New Year's Eve deal they have there multiple times, and that's been great. So out of the timeout, it'll be third down coming up. But, yeah, when I did the preseason interview with Coach Surratt of the Flying Eagles, I said, you played the Red Devils on Halloween night.
Yeah, that could be a little spooky there.
Well, Oak Hill's got the best of Beckley the last couple of years, and Beckley glad to have them at home. They said they didn't care what night it was. They're just glad it was here. All right, out of the timeout from the 34-yard line on third down. And a little kind of misdirection play, and Park does a great job. And another loss, and now brings up fourth down. And let's see if Beckley-Stratton will punt the ball.
Corey Law on the carry.
Yeah, that was just like an inside handoff. You try to fake the pitch to get the defense going one way and hand the ball back in the opposite direction, but Park was ready for it.
Put the ball at the 31-yard line, and it looks like they're going to keep their offense out there, or coming down close to the 3-minute mark of the third quarter.
And Park, you want them to go for it to get a stop here. You don't want to punt, so you can take over the ball maybe at the 30-yard line.
Well,
so this is a big possession for Park to try to get another touchdown tonight.
And let's see if Ellison will put it up. He's shown that he's been able to make the connection. They're going to pitch the ball to Davis. He's around the edge. He's got one man to beat. He's near the first down, and he'll have it. So Park on Beckley-Stratton on fourth down, able to pick up the first down as they get the ball out to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, that's the discouraging part of football today. If you're the defense, back when we played, fourth down was always a punt unless you got late in the game, and now everybody goes for it on fourth down. So you got to play defense 4 hard downs, and you have to get that stop on fourth down. But like I said, Beckley-Stratton converted, and you just want to try to keep them from crossing midfield at this point.
Yeah, especially middle school, because you think, you're not going to get that big of advantage with the net, and Park's got like all 11 guys right in the box. And they're going to run that little nifty kind of reverse inside, and they can get to the edge. This might go inside the 40, inside the 30. One man to beat, down inside the 10, and he's dragged down. I think he's in. Is he in? He might be down at the goal. He's in for the touchdown. And we're going to have to see the number on that. That was a nifty play.
I think that was.
That is Davis.
Oh, Davis.
Yes, that is number 11, Cameron Davis.
That is a nifty play.
So a 54-yard. It was 15, I beg your pardon, and we've got a 15. That is Corey Law. Corey Law on the touchdown run.
And, Beckley-Stratton, they went back to that play. They tried it earlier in the possession and didn't get much on it, and maybe they made an adjustment, and they came back and ran the same play, and this time for a touchdown.
That's a 56-yard run. That's a 5-play, 72-yard drive. Now they're up 40, and if they convert the 2-point conversion, they will have a running clock. But
once again, at Park, you might be losing, but you want to hold them here. You always want to stop them from scoring, but you want to keep the game going as long as you can to work on some things, like I said, for the whole
nifty
season.
Play for the quarterback of reverse pivot, and nice job by the quarterback, Ellison, able to get in for the 2-point conversion and take it to 50. So maybe I'm Beckley-Stratton's good luck piece, Mario, because when they played Wyoming East, they scored 50, and they got 50 here tonight with 2:17 left in the third quarter. Your new score, Beckley-Stratton 50, Park 8. Take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Video Productions.
Before you hit the Hatfield-McCoy trails, fuel up the way West Virginians do at Little General Stores. We're proud to be part of your ride. Rooted in West Virginia and built for the back roads. Little General Stores. Fuel your adventure the West Virginia way.
Hey, my name's Paige, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the crispiness of the breading and the tenderness of the filet. It's tasty, it's warm, it's total satisfaction.
Hi, this is Tanya, and what makes the Chick-fil-A.
All right, we're back here at Van Meter Stadium, Pete Curl-Certo Field in Beckley, and Beckley-Stratton has put a 50 up on the board. And like I said, the last time I was here, back on September 4th, right just about a month ago, when Bill O'Brien and I called the opening game, Beckley-Stratton scored 50 that night as well, and they beat Wyoming East 50-0. And now, Mario, there's still 2:17 left in the third, but because it is now a 42-point advantage, the clock will continue to run.
Yeah, here for Park, even with the game going to be shortened, you still want to try to get as many plays in the rest of the night, work on your offense.
Here's Grubb trying to get to the edge, and he won't make it. He'll get thrown back down. Depends on where they spot him. Probably up across the 20 as the clock will continue to run.
And that was the best coverage by either team tonight on a kickoff.
I'm thinking that's the T, not a flag, correct? That looks like the T out on the 40.
Yes, that's the T.
So Park will have it. Like I said, the clock will continue to run. The ball will be put down at the 21-yard line. It's been a tough night for Park, and you got to give credit to Beckley-Stratton.
Yeah, maybe they did get that extra boost on homecoming tonight. Beautiful night. And like I said, the parents are here, the cheerleaders, the band.
Yep.
and they came out ready to play tonight.
And Beckley-Stratton also playing in front of the high school team, the Beckley Flying Eagles, which both of these, as you mentioned, the 8th graders next year will be a part of the Beckley team. Here's the handoff to Zayden Johnson-Hill, and like you said, they pretty much have kept him under wrap other than the one run he had for the touchdown. They pretty much have done a good job with him as they carries the ball over the 25.
I was going to say, more important than the Woodrow players here tonight, they're playing in front of the Woodrow coaches, and you can bet they got their eye on the top players.
Well, of course, for Park, Zayden Johnson-Hill, also, Grubb, and, of course, on the Beckley-Stratton side, Davis and Plummer, and also the quarterback Ellison.
And Zayden Johnson-Hill, even when he hadn't got much yards tonight, he's run really hard, and you can see all the big play potential that he has.
And I'm sure former NFL player Doug Legursky, we talked about skilled people right there. I'm sure he's looking at the guys in the trenches up front as Beckley-Stratton does a great job slamming that play.
Yeah, I'm sure he's already looking at some of the linemen, seeing if they'll stick at the position they're at, like a guard or tackle, what kind of strength they have, agility, and see how that will work out into the Woodrow's Flying Eagle offense.
That might have been the last play of the third quarter. There's 10 seconds left in the third, and Park has not broke the huddle. So I think that will take us down, and it will. Park won't run another play. That's the end of 3. At the end of 3, it's all Beckley-Stratton. It's the Bulldogs 50 and Park 8. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter here on Video Productions.
Hey, my name's Paige, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the crispiness of the breading and the tenderness of the filet. It's tasty, it's warm, it's total satisfaction.
Hi, this is Tanya, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is that warm bun, the perfectly seasoned chicken, and that pickle. Woo! I love it. There's a taste of my childhood in every bite.
When you're in need of a plumber, you want someone that's going to treat you like family. Modley's Plumbing and Heating, a family-owned business since 1987, wants you to know our customers and employees are as important as family. Built by family to families, quality work is our hallmark at Modley's Plumbing and Heating. So the next time you're in need of a plumber, give Modley's Plumbing and Heating a call at 304-253-HELP. Help to Modley's means handling every little problem.
Back here in Beckley at Van Meter Stadium, Pete Curlicerto Field, going to the fourth quarter. It's all been Beckley-Stratton. They lead 50-8. Maris Lowry with Mario Lowry. KB Cameron Ball producing and directing. Jackie Moon on camera. Beautiful October night as the sun has finally set. And beautiful sky. We have Mario across the way here in Beckley.
Yeah, beautiful night. Nice cool air. This is definitely football weather. And like I said, we're just getting started with, of course, you are too with your weekend coming up with Friday night high school, Saturday college, Sunday pro, and it's just a great time of year.
Yeah, because everything's going, if you're a sports fan, because, you've got the NBA starting, hockey starting, of course, like I said, the 4th week of the NFL, going on the 5th week of the NFL, 6th week in college, high school, and then here's a snap. Long pass down the center of the field, and it's going to be knocked down, almost intercepted as Zayden Johnson-Hill throws the pass. The clock will continue to run here in this fourth quarter. But just a great time to be a sports fan. Everything going on right now. Baseball playoffs.
I mean, like tonight is like a T-shirt and short weather. I mean, you don't normally get those in October.
No.
And, there's so many times you get to this time of year, you're out in a cold night with rain. And like I said, you can watch football all season with this kind of weather.
I don't know about some of the other venues around the country this weekend, but in college football, I saw where the Notre Dame-Boise State game, they're expecting 90-degree weather, that kind of heat, Saturday afternoon in South Bend.
Well, something I said earlier for this game tonight, they had probably more to worry about
with
just
dehydration
with this type of weather than any other problem that they could, and maybe even cramps that you might get, which is also associated with hydration.
Here's a 4th down play for Park. Run the ball. They're going to get a 1st down. A nice run to the edge here by Zayden Johnson-Hill. He zigs and zags his way across the 35. And a nice run for a 1st down out to about the 37, maybe the 38-yard line.
Yeah, he's got good quick moves. He hadn't seen much daylight tonight, but when he has gotten free, he's done the most with it.
Yeah, gets out to the 38-yard line. That'll move the sticks. As we look ahead, Park next week will be taking on Wyoming East. They'll play that at Bobby Pruitt Field where they play their home games. Actually, Park will have Wyoming East at home, Trap Hill on the road, and finish up with Oak Hill. For Beckley-Stratton, they have Eastern Greenbrier here in Beckley next week, and then they're on the road at Independence before they finish up the regular season with Princeton.
Yeah, like I said, Park so far early in the schedule here played both powerhouses, Independence, Beckley-Stratton. So hopefully they can get some teams later in the season here and get some W's.
Trying to run the Wildcat or the Roadrunner version, and that time Zayden Johnson Hill just know where to go.
It'll be second and 11.
So it'll bring up second down as they lose a yard. Clock, like I said, continuing to turn. Tomorrow night, Eric Thomas will join me, and we'll be up at Fairleigh. The Shady Spring Tigers and Greenbrier East. Greenbrier East, you know, you got the area teams East and Princeton. They're going to face here pretty soon, but that really helped both of those programs by being out of the big class since they went to 4 classes. Both are in AAA now, and AAA is really stacked. I think they're all, I mean, obviously anytime you win anything, a state championship, it's hard, but I think of all the 4 classes, AAA is probably the most competitive.
Well, not only that, I just think you get good football in southern West Virginia. You get a lot of really good teams. I know the North is also known for good football. But down here in the South, they play pretty good brand too.
There's a running play up the gut. Gets a yard or 2.
Like I said, this remaining 5 minutes, you want to just try to keep the drive going, keep the ball moving down the field, and you just want to work on trying to get better, playing hard, and as they say, put good work on film.
Because that's one thing, you're always going to be judged, you're always going to be evaluated, like you said, not just their coaches, but the high school coaches as well.
And like I said, through video productions, these coaches can pull this game back up,
right,
and they can break down different plays, different players, and they can see the ones which, to me, it looks like they've all played really hard tonight. And they've, even Park, even though they're down, I don't think they've quit. They've come out, and they're playing hard. And they just happen to run into a really stacked team tonight.
Yeah, Beckley-Stratton has really made major improvements from a year ago as they'll run to the far side with Johnson Hill, Zayden Johnson Hill. He crosses the 40. He's close to a first down, and he might be just a tad short there. Let's see where they put him down at. I don't think he's going to have enough for the first down.
Right at the first down line.
They might have to measure. Nope, they're going to say he's short. And brings up a 4th down play.
And once again, this is all about execution. The score at this point shouldn't have anything to do with it. You want to make this 4th down.
Actually,
you want to run your play.
Now they move the chains and say it's a first down.
Okay, well,
but he looked like he was a little short, but nevertheless, it's a first down out at the 40.
Well, now you're looking at 4 more downs. You just want to keep the ball moving down the field.
They're going to run the ball inside to Grubb. He's got some running room. He's got another first down. Good hard run down near the 40-yard line of Beckley-Stratton. They'll put him down at the 41-yard line.
And I know you do games all over the state, but I don't know if you can find a field that has an emblem or a logo on the field as pretty as that eagle is.
Well, I tell you, Raleigh County's done a great job by turfing all the fields. Of course, down at Liberty, they've got that big L on the field is good. It's great here. Like I said, Raleigh County, hats off to everything they've done, the upgrades they've made to the 4 high schools in the county, and, you know, middle schools play on the high school fields like Shady at Shady, Trap Hill at Liberty, Independence, and Beckley-Stratton here. But they've done a great job of fixing up the field. Here's the pitch. Goes inside the 40, down inside the 35 is Zayden Johnson Hill, and he almost squirted out of there as he gets down to the 34-yard line.
You know, speaking of the middle of the season, you know, if this was back, like I said, you know, years ago, you would have the grass field, and by now you'd be out there playing on dirt or mud. So this field, it stays, you know, perfect every game.
On the high school level, there's not too many places I know that don't have turf. I know that that Summers County doesn't have it. I don't think James Monroe has it. I don't think Spring Valley or Brook. But really, you could probably count on one hand and part of your other hand of how many teams around West Virginia that don't have turf as there's a second down run.
Yeah, and hopefully the teams that at this point don't have one, you know, for whatever reason, their county will see the importance of it, because just the uptake and the care for this, you know, is minimal, you know, so.
Well, you can do so much. No matter what the weather is, you can get on it. Before this game started, the band, Beckley-Woodrow's band, was out here practicing before the middle school game. So, there's so much that you can use it for. Back in the day, like you said, this time of year with football and band, and they used to play soccer here, and the field was really tore up. And there's a nice play by Beckley-Stratton. That play will go for a loss.
Yeah, I have to confess, I shortened my walk coming in. I walked across the end zone, so I didn't have to go all the way around the track. So when I walked across it, I felt like I could have probably ran maybe a 4.40 across there.
Yeah, you think so? You start running today, and you might get up here maybe by next.
No, coming up the steps, that was the hard part, but that turf, just walking on it.
It's nice, isn't it? All right, a 4th down play. Final minute of the ball game. We'll have a quick wrap-up in the Pioneer Community Bank post-game show. This is probably Mario Park's last chance to score here on 4th down if they don't pick it up. And they do pick up the first down as they move the pile down inside the 25. But the way the clock continues to run, they probably can squeeze in 2 more, maybe 3, maybe 2 plays, because we're going to go under 30 by the time they get to the line of scrimmage. So they actually might only get 1 more play.
Yeah, I think I'll just go to the end zone, and you want to end on, like I said, a positive note. And, you may not have won the game tonight, but if you can get a score here on the last play, it can probably make you feel a lot happier.
It will be the last play because they haven't broke the huddle yet, and we're coming up on 10 seconds. Let's barring an incompletion or a defensive penalty, this will probably be the last play of the game.
I think now would be a great time for a triple reverse. What do you think?
We'll see. They're going to run the ball right up the middle. And that will be the final play of the game, and Beckley-Stratton will win 50-8. So I've been able to call 2 Beckley-Stratton games, and they've scored 100 points total in the 2 games I did. They beat Wyoming East 50-0. They put 50 up on Park, and they win the ball game 50-8 tonight.
I'm sure their AD, Felicia Law, probably has your season ticket pass ready for next year and got you a seat at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Law will appreciate that. I'll have to reach out to him and say I've called 2 games, and they've put up 50 in each. All right, we'll take a quick break, come back, and we will wrap this one up and put a bow on it. Coming up next is the Pioneer Community Bank postgame show here on Video Productions.
Ready to turn your passion into a career? At New River Community and Technical College, we've got the programs to get you there. Dive into our food service and event management program. Learn skills from kitchen basics to business budgeting and become seasoned for success. Or if the great outdoors is calling, answer it with our outdoor recreation program. Receive hands-on training that readies you to lead, inspire, and explore. Whatever you're passionate about, we have a path for you. Visit newriver.edu today. Start here. Go anywhere.
For 50 years, Little General Stores has proudly served West Virginia, fueling families, friends, and communities across the Mountain State. To celebrate our golden anniversary, we're giving away $50,000 to thank you, our loyal customers. Little General Stores, 50 years strong and just getting started.
Hey, grab me 1 too.
He's a Greenbrier buyer. She's a Greenbrier buyer. They're Greenbrier buyers. And we want to make you a Greenbrier buyer too. At Greenbrier Automotive, we'll do whatever we can to make your car buying experience the best it can be. From providing outstanding service to offering a huge selection to choose from, all with the best deals possible. Visit one of our 7 area dealerships soon or shop over 800 vehicles on greenbrierautomotive.com.
I never thought this would happen.
When disaster takes control of your life, we got you. Get it back with a single call to the team that shows up fast to make things right. Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
Colder days are coming. Replace those old drafty windows and doors now. Call Window World of Beckley today. 1-800-WINDOW WORLD.
Hey, my name's Paige, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the crispiness of the breading and the tenderness of the filet. It's tasty, it's warm, it's total satisfaction.
Hi, this is Tanya, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is that warm bun, the perfectly seasoned chicken, and that pickle. Woo! I love it. There's a taste of my childhood in every bite.
And we welcome you back one final time to Van Meter Stadium, Pete Colasurto Field here on Beckley, as the Beckley-Stratton Bulldogs remain undefeated as they defeat Park 50-8. You know, Mario, we talked about it here right before the end of the ball game. This is my second time of covering Beckley-Stratton, and each time they put up 50. They first game of the season back on September the 4th, they beat Wyoming East 50-0, and here tonight they beat Park by the score of 50-8 here on homecoming. And Beckley-Stratton really flexed their muscles as Beckley-Stratton, as I said, remains undefeated, and they go to 4-0. Park will fall to 1-4.
Yeah, I think Beckley-Stratton and Independence will be on a collision course here in, 2 more weeks playing each other.
Yeah, they will play each other at Coal City on Thursday, October 16th. So exactly right, 2 weeks.
And you
from
say
tonight.
Regardless of that, they could play again, right? A second.
Well, it looks
matchup?
like they will, because what I was told by Beckley Athletic Director Felicia Law, that it's your record in the county. So far as Beckley-Stratton is concerned, they have beaten Trap Hill, they've beaten Shady, now Park. So they got 3 wins in the county. And for Independence, looking at their schedule, Independence has beaten Trap Hill, they've beaten Park, and they've beaten Shady. So they've each beaten the same 3 teams. They're the only 2 undefeated teams in the county.
Now, does the winner of that game also determine
home
the
field? That's right. So obviously you want to win it, but if whoever wins it, you're going to have to beat that team twice.
Right. And Independence already has 1 home game, so you know they're going to be looking to try to get a second one and keep it going.
Right. And what an advantage it would be if Independence able. I'm not saying that Beckley-Stratton couldn't win it here, but it looks like from games I've done over the past that Beckley-Stratton, or that Independence, has more of a home field advantage at their place than maybe Beckley-Stratton would have here.
Yeah, they have a great crowd. They'll turn out and follow the team. I'm sure Beckley-Stratton will travel well. And like I said, we'll see how that plays out in 2 more weeks.
And we will have that game. Once again, we'll wrap things up here in the Pioneer Community Bank postgame show. We can appreciate our staff, appreciate the Beckley-Stratton administration, and, of course, Felicia Law, the athletic director, in the preparation of our broadcast. Of course, Jackie Moon does a great job always on camera. KB Cameron Ball producing and directing. Mario, your final take.
I'd like to first thank you for inviting me on tonight. It's the first middle school game I've seen in a few years. I really enjoyed doing the broadcast. Like I said, I think Woodrow, the players here at Beckley, was watching future Eagles tonight, and despite the score, I think they saw a lot of good football and really excited about the players that'll be coming up.
Somebody was at the game tonight and sent me a text, and they said Eric looks and sounds a little different tonight. So they've always accused me and Eric of looking alike, so now they're accusing you of looking like Eric. But anyway, that'll wrap things up here. Like I said, for our whole staff, for Cameron and for Jackie, for Mario, I'm Maris. And once again, the final score, 50-8, Beckley-Stratton over Park.